great to feel like someone's seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics, so I'm very grateful for it.
It means a lot to me because my parents, they want me to do well and make it in life, so this is for them. I try to work hard in the classroom and on the court for them and do my best.
I'm so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text award to 919-860-5326.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Weather. I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. What a pretty afternoon out there. Just a little breezy, but otherwise mostly sunny with a high of 75, feeling just like fall. Mid-50s tonight, so it's another cool start for your Saturday morning. And then Saturday, 79 with low 80s on Sunday. We'll see partly cloudy skies. We're right now looking rain-free.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 324 points today to 46,843.
Bouncing now, it comes out in front. Holding shoot. He scores! Seth Jarvis with the turnover.
Hood right side. Slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey hit as he throws left side of the end zone. Touchdown. NC State 12-yarder.
They're going to give it to Castle. He's got a first down. He's got more. Castle into the end zone. Standing up for the touchdown.
Looking left. Throws. Back left corner of the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. Tommy Tremble.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. We're almost there. Almost
Let's go.
there to the weekend. If you're starting your weekend a little early, thanks for starting with us here on The Drive. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. It is a packed weekend. It is the last weekend before we're mixing in real regular season hockey games into the schedule.
Let's go. We're talking basketball next week a bunch, too.
Talking basketball when it comes to AACC tip-off. There's big old scrimmages for college basketball. And, oh, by the way, there's a full slate of college football and NFL football. Big, big, big weekend. And there's only one way to start it, and that's with the big, big, big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Dolphins are coming to town. Dolphins at Panthers. This is, as I said yesterday, if you made me pick one game for the rest of the season that I thought the Panthers had a good chance to win, or a chance to win, or some semblance of a chance to win, this might be my first draft pick. You're catching the Dolphins on a short week, dealing with a serious injury to their offense. Tyreek Hill done for the year. They're already a team that was reeling. They're already a team with drama. They're already a team with hot seats all over the place. And they're playing in your house, which, let's be real, Bryce Young is a different player at home. The Panthers are a different player at home, and that's better at home than on the road. So all of that adds up to you better take advantage of this opportunity. So you're going into a game where you feel like, yeah, opportunity. If we give our A game, we should have a chance here.
I feel great about playing football right now.
You're darn right you do, Dave Canales. Until what happens? Oh, by the way, Chuba Hubbard likely not playing. Oh, by the way, still not practicing. Guys like Shaw Smith-Wade. Oh, by the way, we're just going to make it more difficult for you to take advantage of this opportunity, Carolina Panthers. Good luck.
Hey, Xavier Legette, he's back.
Xavier Legette, true. He is expected to be out there playing, running around. That should give another guy to be out there running around. Not going to say it's going to help or hurt yet because that guy's still a grab bag of emotions for me. I'm not 100% in any direction. Dolphins at Panthers. It is a low-key, very, very big game. I say low-key because obviously Panthers fans are going to pay attention. I'm not sure how much national buzz this one will get, but there is a gargantuan difference between 2-3 and 1-4. Massive difference between 2-3 and 1-4. So one of these teams is going to be 1-4, and one of these teams is going to be 2-3. The Dolphins are slight itty-bitty favorites, 1.5 points if you're looking at ESPN Bet. But if you look at ESPN's matchup predictor, according to ESPN Analytics, it's 50.9% Carolina.
Let's go.
So
let's go.
1-1, right?
Take that, sports books.
The spread to you, the ESPN matchup predictor to Carolina. And there's also like a even small percentage that they're going to have a tie. But we're not going to go down that path. Although we did just see one. What was it last? Was that Monday? Sunday?
Sunday night.
I remember it late. I remember going, I waited this long for a 40-40 tie. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Although I would like 40 points from the offense. Give me 40 points from the Carolina offense. I will take that and run to the bank with it. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
And we will at 3:15 talk more about the Chuba Hubbard injury and how that impacts the Panthers and how they've ended up in this situation where that injury can mean so much. At 2, in the big 3 at 3, Canes' final preseason game tomorrow in Nashville. The Carolina Hurricanes' final tune-up. I like to call it the last dress rehearsal. They've already sent a bunch of their franchise depth guys to the AHL. And here's the part I'm going to focus on throughout the show when we talk Canes. Right now, everyone other than Jesperi Kotkaniemi is out of a non-contact jersey and practicing. Jesperi Kotkaniemi took the stick to the eye earlier in the preseason, but even he today was skating in a non-contact jersey. So they are mostly healthy. This is darn near, right? Especially if Kotkaniemi is healthy enough to play in week 1, in game 1. They are the roster as designed by the front office this offseason. And what I think that allows them to do, and starting really with the last preseason game where I think a lot of guys are going to suit up, maybe that we haven't even seen suit up yet this preseason. The first chunk, called the first month, there's a lot of information gathering, right? There's a lot of feeling out chemistry. There's a lot of, all right, Keandre Miller's got to get caught up to speed on this. All right, Alexander Nikishin might skate better with him. There's shuffling of lines. There's figuring it out. And eventually, they'll have to figure out, because they do still have currency, right? Prospects, cap space, draft picks. They'll have to decide, all right, we've gathered all the information about our team, and we've decided the piece that they are missing is fill in the blank, and then they can go try to buy it. That's what the first part of the season is. And it's really nice when you don't have like a situation a couple years ago where you knew Andrei Svechnikov was going to be coming back at some point, right? Because then whatever you watched, you could go, well, they're obviously missing blah, blah, blah. But Svech will be back in 6 or 7 weeks, and he can take care of that, and you almost give yourself that out. The information gathering, as long as they stay mostly healthy as they are right now, will give them a true picture of the roster as designed. And with the roster, the line shuffling, you might find some unbelievable chemistry. It's a Friday, so I'm going to double back to a reference. I probably haven't made 2 Friends references on this show in the last 2 years. I'll make 2 this week. If you listen behind the scenes of the show Friends, remember the sitcom, right?
Pivot.
There it is. You know what it is. the what was it, Chandler and Monica were not supposed to be like an item, but the writers watching the first season were like immediately, oh, chemistry. Yeah, guess what? We should write those two together. Like they've got it, right? Maybe there's a defensive pairing like that, right? Maybe you plan to have Nikishin with Ghost or something like that, and you skate him just as an experiment with Miller, and you're like, whoa, you know what? Write them into the finale. They're gonna be married and have some kids. That's Monica and Chandler, right? My point is, be open to the things they show you and then adjust accordingly. Stankoven on the second line, if he is the center, you're going to give him an audition with a bunch of different wingers, right? See who works, see who doesn't. You know you can put darn near anybody on the Stahl-Martinook line. You know there can be a grinding fourth. Figure it out. I'm excited to learn about this team as much as I am excited just to watch the fireworks that come with some of the new additions. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Full weekend of college football, everybody. Full weekend. Saturday at noon, Clemson at UNC. Clemson in Chapel Hill, which we'll talk about throughout the show. But I'll let you know this: the Athletic redid their mock draft, so they did 2026 mock draft. Got the Dane Bruglers and all their experts together and redid their 2026 mock. And keep in mind, Clemson has been maybe the most underwhelming team in the country this year, based on expectations. One of,
certainly
if not
most underachieving.
They still had 3 top 14 picks on their defense alone. They still had Peter Woods, T.J. Parker, and Avion Terrell in the top 14 picks. So they're coming to UNC, a wounded animal, underperforming, underachieving, whatever you want to call it, but also with certain physical gifts on some of their players' attribute list that UNC is going to have an answer for. Saturday at 1, there's Wake at Virginia Tech, which I'd say got a little bit more spicy based on how those two teams have been playing. Neither came into this year with tremendous expectations, but they've both shown more pluck. Both have new coaches. Both have running quarterbacks. Both can do some interesting things. Saturday at 2, State hosts Campbell. State fans, I know what you want. You want a slaughter, right? You want State State players to take out all their aggression, all their anger, all their frustration on Campbell, and you want them to win by a bunch. I think you want a little bit more than that as far as getting the run game going and getting C.J. Bailey back to being a little bit more instinctive. I think there's other football things you can take away from it. But if you just want to feel good, at Saturday dinner, a nice little 45-13 win or something like that might feel pretty good. And then Saturday, for the true degenerates, when I grew up in Hawaii, you always knew which people were watching the Hawaii game, because it was always started at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast. It was the ones that had lost money gambling earlier in the day and were trying to make it all back on Nevada at Hawaii. Give me some Louisiana Tech at Hawaii and the over, please. Duke at Cal for the degenerates is a 10:30 p.m. Eastern time opening kick. And later on in the show, I'm actually going to put it on the Duke defense. I'm going to put it on the Duke defense, meaning I'm pretty confident in Duke's offense. They've got some emerging running backs. I'm a big fan of their quarterback. Enough wide receivers to make it happen. I want to see some consistency out of a defense that is led by one of the best defensive minds in the game, right? That's how we've hyped up Manny Diaz since the offseason, and I want that to start coming through. And Cal has a freshman quarterback, which, if you have a good defense, should be, don't play with your food, make it quick. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, that is just scratching the surface. Coming up next, we dive deep into how the injuries, including Chuba Hubbard's, that are impacting the Panthers need to be overcome, need to be dealt with. We'll talk about it next. Stick around.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Bryce under center, McMillan the only receiver. Snap, give to Dowdle, barges across the goal line for a Panther touchdown. Rico Dowdle with his first touchdown as a Panther, 26-0, Carolina on top.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Panthers host the Dolphins this weekend. They are likely to be without their starting running back, Chuba Hubbard.
He's officially out.
So you're telling me there's no chance? Fine. They're without Chuba Hubbard. Is that better, Dennis?
Hey, I'm just keeping it real.
When keeping it real goes wrong is what happens when an injury hits a Panthers roster that's so darn shallow, meaning not much depth. But before we get real, talking about the Panthers' injuries and how they're hopefully going to be able to deal with them and the challenges they have to overcome, I will be at the Carolina Ale House in Cary for the Panther game. So right from the beginning, I'll be out there. I'll be interacting with Panther fans. Hopefully they're there. They're bringing energy. Carolina Ale House in Cary. I'll be there with swag to give away, some merch. I'll be there with gift cards to give away, maybe pick up some of your bill. It should be a fun opportunity. And as I say, I go around to the tables. I introduce myself, say what's up, have some conversations. But I do let everybody know. The best way to get some free stuff when I am the one leading the watch party is to bring energy. If there's a first down for the Panthers and I hear you hoop and holler and go nuts and there's a high five involved, there's a good chance that you're going to be grabbing a free appetizer or something along those lines. Meanwhile, if there's a bad play and you hoop and holler, it's fake. I mean, if you just want to fake it and just hoop and holler, I just like energy. I'm susceptible to brown nosing. You know what I mean? So there you go. I'll be at the Carolina House in Cary, though. And it's a great place to watch all the games. Hockey games, football games. They got all the TVs, all the food, all the drink, all the everything. Carolina Ale House is all over the area. I will be in Cary for the Panthers game on Sunday. Now we'll jump into the Panthers details. Chuba Hubbard, as you just heard Dennis say, he's not playing. Calf injury that he played through last week apparently got a little worse. Unable to play through it this week, which means it's a Rico Dowdle game. And guess what? This is why you have Rico Dowdle. Like, this is the exact reason why you brought Rico Dowdle onto the roster out of free agency. Rico spoke to the media, and he was asked about the difference between he and Hubbard, and this is what he had to say.
I don't really know, honestly, to answer your question. I never really thought about what I bring that he knew. I know we both every down backs, and we both versatile, catch passes out the backfield, and we both run downhill and hard. So I haven't really put much thought into what I bring that he doesn't bring.
I actually think that's a great answer. And the reason why I say it's a great answer is I don't believe Rico was brought in to be like a true running back by committee guy. Like, they weren't bringing in their version of Montgomery and Gibbs. It was Chuba Hubbard's going to get the ball a lot, and running backs that get the ball a lot sometimes get hurt. And if he gets hurt, we want to have somebody that we can put in the offense and not change much. Right? We don't want to have to go, all right, well, now we can't run between the tackles, or okay, now we can't throw the ball to the running back, or now we can't trust him in pass protection. We want a guy that we can just slot into that position and keep it moving. Canales, the architect of the offense and head coach, was asked what it means to not have Hubbard.
We just couldn't get Chuba around quickly enough to feel confident to put him out there, so we thought this would be a good week to get him back to strength, back to health. We'll keep working on him through the weekend and then take a look back at him early next week. Rico, just expecting him, just like always, go in there, run the runs we call, and run with the type of intensity and energy I know that he can. So we're counting on him, counting on Trevor Etienne to get in there and get his share of the action as well.
The injuries are starting to add up. Chuba's injury is significant, but they did use the proper safety net, right? They did go and grab Rico Dowdle, so you hope it won't be any kind of a death blow to your offense. But it is a part of, right? The way that a roster is all connected. Missing on so many draft picks for a variety of reasons over the last, call it 5 to 10 years, like half decade to a decade, has really ruined any chance the Panthers have had at building depth in their franchise, building depth on their roster. So, for example, right, and some are within their control, some are without of their control. Some are bad evaluation, some are bad luck. There's a lot of both. Some are bad maneuvering on draft day, right, trading up when maybe you didn't have to, taking a guy a few picks before another really good player. Like, there's a lot of different ways to lean on it, but Jonathan Brooks was a second-round pick running back, okay? Now, whether you say it was bad evaluation because they drafted a guy with a hurt knee and he hurt his knee, or whether you say it's bad luck and an injury can't be predicted, right? I don't care which one you think it is directly tied to, all right, Jonathan Brooks should have been the number 2 running back. He gets hurt. They can't depend on him to be the number 2 running back. They have to go spend in free agency to bring in Rico Dowdle. So now when Chuba Hubbard goes down, it's not panic on all fronts. And maybe part of Jonathan Brooks going down meant they also had to draft Trevor Etienne in the 4th round. Right? So those two bits of resources, that free agency money and that draft pick that went to Etienne, are now not being spent on maybe an off-ball linebacker. Right? Maybe that means they didn't get to draft their, extra safety. Right? And that is how missing on draft picks, even if that position doesn't come back to bite you, right? Even if that position isn't the one, it's like, well, okay, we missed on Jonathan Brooks, but running back isn't our issue. We have Chuba and Rico and Etienne if we need him. And it's like, yeah, but you had to go get Rico and Etienne, and you probably wouldn't have had to if you had Brooks, and then you have a surplus, right? You have extra cash, you have extra draft picks to go spend it on parts where you don't have depth. Because I made this point earlier in the week. In a strange way, the injuries are hitting the Panthers where they can afford to get hit. Right? The injuries, for the most part, are offensive line, wide receiver, now they're leading running back. Those are 3 of the 4 positions that they actually had a little bit of depth.
Defensive line a little bit as well. Turk Wharton, Pat Jones.
Very similar, especially interior defensive line. They had the ability to eat some of that. So, like, imagine if those injuries hit safety, off-ball backer, obviously quarterback. But that's for every team.
Yeah.
There are certain positions where or corner, where their depth simply isn't there. And that doesn't mean they messed up in those positions. It means they messed up somewhere and then had to use the resources on those positions.
And no Shaw Smith-Wade this weekend either, out with a chest injury. So now he's your nickel corner. How do you adapt around that? Can Corey Thornton play in that spot? Do you go big nickel and put more Lathan Ransom out there? So they have to adjust around, again, a very thin spot, like you said, at corner.
And it's not like you want to look at this past summer and go, how did they let this happen? It's not a this past summer mistake. It is a mistake that has been made in increments over the last decade. You miss on a draft pick, you got to use something else to fill that hole, creating a hole somewhere else, and you just keep taking from Peter to pay Paul, right? You're taking money out of your right pocket to pay your left pocket, and you're not making up ground. The injuries are piling up, and because of the way the drafts have gone in the last half decade plus, the injuries will sting the Panthers worse than they will sting a more functional, better run organization. And it's not all Dan Morgan, because obviously he's only taken over recently. You can't blame him for draft picks made 7 years ago when maybe some of this started, right? The first bit of the string of the sweater was pulled. But I do think there is everyone along the way that's had decision-making power has kept pulling at the string rather than getting the scissors, right? And cutting it and moving on. They keep trying to solve it all kind of too quick. Keep trying to solve it all rather than get a little bit better, get a little bit better, get a little bit better until eventually you can be the Niners. Last night, perfect example.
Yeah.
Rolled out there with just the JV unit and beat a really good Rams team. Because they have drafted well, they've developed well, they have analyzed the free agency market well, they've spent wisely. So when Kittle's out and Ayuk's out and Jennings is out and Pearsall is out and all of these guys are out, they have players that can step up. Kendrick Bourne, right, just off the scrap heap, making plays.
And Brock Purdy out.
Brock Purdy out. Mac Jones, I mean, Kyle Shanahan's gonna get a nice dinner from Mac Jones because he just made himself probably $20 million on his next contract. Like that is a direct result of John Lynch and Shanahan being pretty good at frankly evaluating football players. And even when you miss on something big like Trey Lance, they're so good elsewhere that they didn't miss a beat. The Trey Lance mistake is as bad, if not worse, than what the Panthers did with Bryce Young.
I would almost say it's worse.
That makes it even more impressive.
Yeah.
Because as bad as that was, finding a franchise quarterback in the 7th round is equally as impressive, and they negated each other almost immediately. The Panthers are going to have to be really resilient from here on out, which is ironic because that is a direct test of something that I believe has been a weakness for them. Right? They're going to have to stare at a roster that is not as good as the one they had last week, 2 weeks ago, due to injury, and say, we're going to play better regardless. That is a resilient attitude from a team who I think their biggest weakness so far this year has been when staring adversity in the face, they've wilted rather than bowed their neck. So now it's like, all right, so last week you crumbled under the face of adversity. This week we're going to put you in adversity, but we're going to take away your offensive leader. Good luck. It's like missing a 3-point shot going, no, I know the problem. I was too close. Moving back to half court. It's like you might make it, but it's probably less likely. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are off and running on a Friday, and we will get to the Dean's List just as soon as we get back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up. And find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore smithdouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice, within reach.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
Snap to Bailey. Handoff now to Smothers as he squirts through the line off to the races. 40. Hollywood Smothers pulls away 30. Inside the 20. He's gone. Hollywood 49 yards.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, I just saw an advertisement. I'm just going to, little shameless self-promotion here. I have ESPN 2 here on in the studio, and they just showed an advertisement for the Face Off, the new Amazon documentary show.
Yeah, just dropped today.
There's season 2. There's an entire episode dedicated to Seth Jarvis of the Carolina Panthers, his trek to playing with Team Canada and the Canes run all the way up until their matchup with the Panthers in the postseason. And, again, shameless self-promotion. It's pretty cool, so I want to give a shout-out. 99.9 The Fan is featured all over it.
Yeah, we are.
We are in a ton of the kind of narrations and the way they tell the story of the Canes season is in a lot of way through things we say and clips of this show and clips of the Canes Corner with Adam Gold and the Adam Gold show and all of the Next Up with Paul Ihander. So there's a ton of stuff from 99.9 The Fan. So check it out, I guess is what I'm saying. You'll learn a lot about Jarvie too. You get kind of an insight into he is more you feel like he's more human than the character that sometimes I think he's portrayed as just like the small little goofy little brother to the Carolina Hurricanes. He's a complicated guy that's dealing with things just like everybody else, and it's a really interesting listen, and not just because we were featured in a little bit, but that makes you feel good as well. So I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. So check it out. It's all on Amazon. Face Off, episode something or another in season 2.
Episode 5.
Episode 5, season 2. Check it all out, though. I mean, you'll learn a lot about guys all across the NHL. But
it really is fascinating.
The Seth Jarvis episode obviously means a little bit more to us. And with that being said, let's jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we give a little extra praise, a few extra accolades to those across the college sports world. That means so near and dear to us. That deserve a little extra praise. I'll get it started. The ECU defense. The ECU football defense. So, ESPN.com put out an article. It's basically just a long ranking of defenses in college football. And the measurement they used, the analytic they used, was called stop rate. And stop rate, ready for this? Pretty darn simple. The percentage of a defense's drives that ends in punts, turnovers, or a turnover on downs. So basically, if you're sent out there as a defensive unit and you don't give up points, not missed field goals as well. Like it's got to be a turnover.
Okay.
They're 14th in the country.
Okay.
All levels.
Respect.
And I was like, wait a minute. Because I didn't even know, obviously the first thing I'm doing is checking for the local teams, right? But I didn't even know, which defense I thought would be up there. And then ECU popped up 14th. 14th for ECU. And they haven't played like a, 1927 Yankees lineup of a schedule. But they haven't played a walkthrough either. They've played some teams. And they're the 14th best defense in the country as far as just getting on the field and not giving up points. So I wanted to give the appropriate amount of accolades and extra credit there to the old ECU defense. Pretty good. I feel like so often when we talk about ECU, we talk about like Caden Hauser slinging it because he's near the top in some passing statistics, but you don't want to let the other side of the ball slide under the radar too far. So ECU defense makes the Dean's List. Dennis, do you have anyone you'd like to throw onto the Dean's List?
I do. Actually, I'm going to throw a little college hockey here on the Dean's List. I'm actually going to go with Penn State hockey and Gavin McKenna, who's their star
presumed
freshman.
all everything, $700,000 NIL superstar.
Yes, going to be the number 1 pick in the 2026 draft class. His anticipated debut in college with Penn State, they're actually going to go be playing Arizona State this weekend. NHL Network's going to carry the games. You actually can watch the games on NHL's YouTube channel. So the NHL is already like, yeah, this guy's going to be a star while he's still in college as a 18-year-old kid.
I don't want to cut you off, but our next Dean's List member is going to be a little breaking news.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and...
WRAL's Pat Welter and Brian Murphy report quarterback Max Johnson is expected to start for North Carolina in its conference opener against Clemson on Saturday, multiple sources told WRAL.
All right, there it is.
Now, their starter, Gio Lopez, was listed as questionable on ACC's availability report released yesterday. There will obviously be an update released later today. The ACC requires injury updates now. But he was unable to practice last week at least. We'll have to stick around, for more information as we get closer to game time tomorrow to learn, if we do learn, whether Max Johnson is starting in place of an injured Gio Lopez or if he is starting in place of a Gio Lopez who could have played, but they chose to go with Max Johnson. It's just a little bit different of a story. But either way, Max Johnson makes the Dean's List for a bunch of reasons. One, he's now starting quarterback at UNC going into a pretty eyeballs-filled match. A lot of spotlights on Clemson at UNC. But also, he started the opener last year for UNC, the first game of the year at Minnesota. And in that second half, it was an ugly game. Offense wasn't playing great, but it was rainy. They ended up winning the game. But he had a pretty gruesome leg injury.
Oh, yeah. It was bad.
If you get queasy watching injuries, this one would have made you queasy. Stayed in the hospital. It was not like have surgery and, hit the rehab. It was like in the hospital for a while. Couldn't travel home with the team. Long road back. And for him to not only be back, he was actually cleared to play before the season opener. But now, starting games again and against some of the best defensive players in the country that Clemson will be rolling out there. That is a pretty cool story that he's even out there with the ability to start, let alone actually starting. If you remember Max Johnson from something other than his time at UNC, it might be the fact that he was the starting quarterback at LSU before Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. He threw 27 touchdowns in 2021, did Max
against
Johnson.
Just 6 interceptions. He had a pretty good day. And that was as an underclassman. I believe he was a sophomore.
Yeah, it was the second year.
Obviously, then Jaden Daniels showed up. He transferred out, went to Texas A&M, played a little bit there, ended up at North Carolina, and I just gave you his whole North Carolina history. But he'll be starting against Clemson, according to Pat Welter and Brian Murphy of WRAL's sources.
He could potentially play college football next year as a seventh-year guy.
Sure, I didn't know that. But
his first year at LSU in 2020, that year just doesn't count because it was a COVID year. Just doesn't count. Yeah. So his next season at LSU 2021, played 12 games. Then he transfers to Texas A&M. In 2022, only played 4 games. So that could actually count as a redshirt year. Played in 2023 in 8 games. But then last year, he can qualify for a medical hardship because he only played in 1 game with the injury. So if he's able to get a medical hardship for last season, he could theoretically actually play next year in college football if he wanted to.
He is 24. He'll be 25 in July.
Yeah.
So by next year, he'd be 25 years old. You know what? I usually I say, time to move on. But with that injury, play as long as you can, man.
Hey, play as long as you can.
Play as long as you can.
If you can play as long as you can, keep furthering your education, make a little money along the way, go for it, man.
Sometimes I feel bad for like the 19-year-olds that are trying to break into college football, and I got to go up against this 26-year-old that got his third medical red shirt and a COVID year still. COVID happened when I was in 6th grade, and can I get a couple reps? Like sometimes I feel bad for that, but that injury was the type where I'm like, you know what? With how much rehab probably took to get Max Johnson back to where he is, go nuts. Play as long as you possibly can.
Pretty remarkable. As he talked about, I mean, not anticipating, but there was conversation of could he lose his leg?
Yeah, and I don't know how serious they were, but it was brought. Like the reports were, it was brought up. Like there was at least a conversation of, hey, if things go south, either significantly from here or whatever, like, be prepared to learn how to use crutches and scooters and all that. And it's like, whoa. To then be from that conversation, regardless of if they gave it a 1% chance or whatever, to starting college football games against Clemson essentially a year later is wild. All right, one more Dean's Lister. I'll throw the ACC in the Dean's List because I was looking at the slate of games this weekend. The ACC might have like the premier matchups. Clemson at UNC, ESPN at noon is a at least interesting star-studded coaching matchup with a lot of storylines. Number 3, Miami at 18, Florida State.
We'll have that game on the Fan tomorrow night, by the way.
That is as big of a game as there is this weekend, with huge impacts on national rankings and everything else. And then, as I mentioned, there's Duke at Cal for the late-night crowd, like 10:30 on ESPN. If you're out watching games all day, you come home, turn something on, it's Duke at Cal is the premier matchup on the late-night tip. And then there's like a little, you leave the 3:30 group for the national audience to go watch some SEC. But other than that, you could argue the ACC has like 3 of the 4 time blocks kind of locked up, which I think is good for the ACC, right? When ratings and everything come into play, media rights deals, you need to make sure your premier matchups are hitting at the right time. As much as I love number 3 Miami against number 18 Florida State, you know that if that's up against like Alabama, Georgia, it's going to be tough to outrate. So when you can get like your own little real estate and own it, I think that's good. So shout out to the ACC schedulers. And with that being said, let's dismiss the Dean's List. Had to shake that up a little bit because Max Johnson, again, according to WRAL sources, Max Johnson expected to start for Carolina against Clemson tomorrow. Probably good. I would assume passing game's ceiling got a little bit higher by throwing Max Johnson out there based on what we've seen. But we'll have to find out. We'll know within a day. Goodness. Noon start tomorrow is just seems early for that game.
I'm curious what the atmosphere is going to be like out there.
I think it'll be a good one.
You think so?
Ludacris is at 10 o'clock.
I mean, there's that.
There's the college football campus tour is going to be there from 10 to noon as well with Jonathan Zaslow and Amber Wilson.
That's right.
And Amber Wilson's going to join us on the Heastar Automotive Group hotline coming up next to talk about that matchup and much, much more. Stick around.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No. I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Don't miss Bailey's Fall Antique and Vintage Jewelry Show October 7th through 11th. Search through hundreds of vintage necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings, and more to discover your unique jewelry treasure. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry on October 7th in Rocky Mount, October 8th in Greenville, October 9th in Cary, or October 10th and 11th in Raleigh's Village District to find your perfect piece of jewelry history. Visit BaileyBox.com for details.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra. Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, for $3, you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
My whole goal in life, make other people's lives easier. Hi, this is Adam Gold. If you are a contact lens or glasses wearer, I can help. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK, the only LASIK specialist in the Triangle and the best way to make your life easier. 919-510-6830, TraversLASIK.com. Get rid of the time, the hassle, the potential issues with contact lenses and glasses. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK, 919-510-6830, TraversLASIK.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You just heard me talking about it during the Dean's List a second ago, right? The ACC has done a pretty good job of giving the people what they want this weekend, meaning there's quite a few big games. One of them may not be the biggest when it comes to national standings, right? If you want ACC national implications, you go Miami, Florida State. But if you want storyline, if you want drama, if you want stakes, if you want coaching fame, I don't know if you can do better than Clemson at North Carolina, right? Dabo Swinney, Bill Belichick. Between the two of them as head coaches, there's 6 Super Bowls, 2 national championships. There's a lot going on in that matchup, and you can understand why Amber Wilson, co-host of Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio, and Jonathan Zaslow would bring their college football campus tour to Chapel Hill. You can find them tomorrow from 10 to noon, obviously kickoff at noon. So leading right up to kickoff, they'll be at the University Baptist Church on South Columbia Street in Chapel Hill. Amber joins us now on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Amber, thank you very much for the time. I think, we all know the stakes for this one, so I'll frame it this way. Whose life will be more miserable for the next week with a loss, Dabo Swinney or Bill Belichick?
Hey, Tim. Thanks for having me. I think that's a really easy answer, and I think it's Dabo, because I understand that everyone's talking about Bill, right? Everyone's talking about how this is so embarrassing and the great fall of Bill Belichick. It's year one. I mean, everybody needs to settle down. I don't know why people thought that he was going to go in with 70 new players and all of a sudden he was going to have a national championship program. Now, Tim, I don't know if it's ever going to work out for him at Chapel Hill, but what I do know is that was supposed to be the case for Dabo, right? And that's supposed to be the competition level that he's playing in. And so for Dabo Swinney, for the team that was ranked 4th in the country in the preseason to be where they are, that's actually the embarrassing story, not Bill Belichick right now.
How much patience do you give to a 73-year-old coach, right? Acknowledging year one is always too soon, but is it next year where this game might be more like, similar expectations for the two teams?
I think next year is a real, step forward that you need to see, right? And I mean, heck, we know where the bar is, so any step forward, I guess, seems like a massive leap at this point. I don't think they need to go undefeated next season. I don't think they need to be in the postseason necessarily, but I do think you need to feel significantly better about the direction of the program and think, hey, he actually has something. He can actually do something on this level, and without Tom Brady at the helm. or then, yeah, we're going to have the conversations, because the reality is his age is what it is, like you said. Mm-hmm. You knew that, though, when you were hiring a 73-year-old coach, so you had to have some idea of your timeline. The athletic department did when they were willing to bring a coach of that age on board. But at any age in college football, there's only so much time you get, right? So he's got to at least take a pretty significant step forward next season.
Amber Wilson joining us, Heister Automotive Group Hotline here on The Drive. Check her out with Jonathan Zaslow on the college football campus tour in Chapel Hill tomorrow, 10 to noon, out there at the University Baptist Church on South Columbia Street in Chapel Hill. We're talking football here, but that's not what anybody talks about when they're talking about Bill Belichick. They talk about the circus, right? They talk about everything going around. With you in Chapel Hill for the weekend, what are you looking forward to seeing up close and personal the most when it comes to just the experience that is Bill Belichick, the college coach?
Well, the one reason he's here, right? If we're honest, it's not just to try to bring the winning. It's also because of this, because we're here, because ESPN Radio is here. We have our mobile studio, which is incredible. That's going to be there right across from campus tomorrow. Everybody can come out and watch us do the show if they want to at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we wouldn't be here if Bill Belichick wasn't here. Let's be honest. That's what he brings with him to UNC. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. Even though we're going to be watching two of the worst offenses in the entire country, you can't take away the storylines that are going to be in this game. And that starts certainly with Bill Belichick. And seeing him up close and personal at this level, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see, I mean, obviously I've seen it on television, but I'm excited to see in person. What does Bill B look like in college, because it's still hard for me to wrap my head around. But here you go, one of the greatest to ever do it at the NFL level, and he's here trying to make it work in what is the climate that all the other old coaches are running away from in college. So that's so fascinating to me.
You brought up it's two of the worst offenses, and again, year one you might expect it from a new coaching staff, but what the heck is up with Clemson's offense? Obviously, they still have some dudes on defense, but do you have any insight into what Cade Klubnik isn't doing this year that he was doing last year that made him so effective?
I don't. He's thrown as many interceptions this year already as he threw for the entire season last year. And Klubnik was that guy that was supposed to be a Heisman contender, right? He was supposed to be squarely in that conversation. He's so far from that conversation. I really don't have an explanation for it. I feel like with Dabo, we're right back where we started before last season, where we were talking about Dabo's way doesn't work anymore in college, and maybe the game's passed him by because he's not willing to hit the transfer portal harder. They did bring in a few transfers this season, and they still haven't been very effective, but heck, nobody's been very effective for this Clemson team. I don't have much of an explanation. I know we're right back there having that conversation again. Is Dabo going to be able to pivot? Is he going to be able to adjust? But I was having that conversation last season, and then all they did is go out and win the ACC. So for me, listen, Dabo Swinney, his resume is what it is. I mean, very few coaches in all of FBS can compete with it. So I don't think that we need to have the conversations about whether Dabo should be there at Clemson at the helm. But I do think that there's a real conversation to be had about his loyalty right now to Cade Klubnik. And I understand why he's being so loyal, because of what Klubnik did last season and because of where the expectation was this season, and probably there's some NIL reasons as well, but it's just weird. It's very weird, and I wish I could explain why that Clemson team. Now, are we going to see a different side of that against this UNC defense tomorrow? They know that even though this game wouldn't typically be on a big stage, so to speak, they know that they're going up against Bill Belichick's squad, and I'm sure Dabo is a little extra motivated by that.
All right, let's get to the real debate points here, right? You're one of the co-hosts of the ESPN's College Football Campus Tour. So top 3 college football game day atmospheres.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm a Florida Gator, so I will go ahead and be a complete homer, and let's just get that out of the way.
I appreciate putting your biases on Front Street. We'll take it with the appropriate grain of salt.
On Front Street, to me, the Swamp is the loudest stadium in the nation. I've been lucky enough to be on the field there. You can't hear yourself think. So that would be one of the environments for me. I was really impressed with Tennessee. We were in Knoxville a few weeks ago. I mean, that was a wild environment. We've been to some really, really good ones. Heck, what Miami's walking into this weekend at Doak Campbell, a renovated Doak Campbell in Tallahassee, I think that's probably going to feel like old school Tallahassee. I haven't been to the Big House yet. That's certainly an environment that I'm looking forward to going to at one point. Ohio State was so huge when we went to it. That's where we started our season this season. Those stadiums that are just so huge there's something special about that, even though I don't know if atmosphere-wise, in my heart, anything can top the SEC. So I do tend to lean SEC schools. But the way that those schools in the Big Ten, just the enormity of it, is just wild and something to see.
All right, while we have you here, we could talk college football all day, but I know you have some roots in Miami, and the Dolphins and Panthers are playing this weekend. We cover the Panthers pretty aggressively.
Do we have to? Do we have to talk about this?
We want to learn. We want to learn from maybe some mistakes that have happened, right? Because you have two undersized Alabama, smart, accurate quarterbacks that maybe, Tua's just a couple years ahead of Bryce. Is there something that maybe you learned about how the Dolphins dealt with Tua that we can use to get Bryce back on track in Carolina?
Well, no, because the Dolphins, I wouldn't say have Tua on track per se. One
Agreed.
of the things that has been frustrating through Tua's career, and it's a little bit of what you guys are experiencing now, where there was so much hope around Bryce last season, right? And that hope had been lost. And then last season, you're so encouraged. And now this season, you're feeling a little less encouraged by the whole experience. And that's been our experience with Tua over the years. Also, it's like 1 year he's in a Pro Bowl, and then the next year, and we're all let down, and then we're back to kind of thinking, can he be the guy? And the reality is, if you stay in that purgatory for too long, it's because he's okay. And I think in Miami, that's where we're at with Tua, and that remains to be seen for you guys with Bryce. But for us, it's because Tua's okay. He's okay. Like, he's not great. He's not bad. He's fine. And if you don't have the right pieces around, fine, and the right protection in front of, fine, it's just always going to look and that's where we're at. And so it's just year after year, because I do think that Tua is competent enough and accurate enough and works hard enough that if he was on a much better team, then it would be fine. If he was out in San Francisco, heck. But because they apparently can do it with anybody on the 49ers. But that's not the story in Miami, and Miami needed a guy who could take it to the next level. And unfortunately, I'm not necessarily sure that that's what we got in Tua. And so I'm hoping that's not the story for you guys with Bryce. But what I have learned from the Ryan Tannehill and Tua Tagovailoa experience down in Miami is when year after year after year you're asking, is he good? And you kind of don't know. Then the answer to that is probably, he's okay.
All right. Last one for you, and it's a quick one. I believe you're set up in Chapel Hill for tomorrow for the ESPN the campus tour, the ESPN College Football Campus Tour. Is like a 5 or 10 minute walk from where Ludacris is going to be performing. Are you going to be able to catch any of the Luda?
Luda? I'm going to do my best. I hear his concert now is at 9 a.m. And we go on air at 10 a.m. So I don't know how my bosses are going to get in to everything that we have to do before the show and our radio hits on ESPN Radio, but I'm going to try to make them because, how can we miss Luda? So certainly we'll definitely have our social media coordinator over there getting content for us on the ESPN Radio social channels. But we put in a request for him, Tim. Do you know he's not available. Apparently he's busy being ludicrous, okay? But I'm still going to try. I'm still trying to get this man on my show.
All right, and we'll be tuned in to see if you do. Amber, we appreciate the time, and enjoy Chapel Hill. Enjoy the whole circus that exists around Bill Belichick, and all of our listeners can actually hear it right here on 99.9.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Once again, that is Amber Wilson, co-host of Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio. And as we just talked about there, the College Football Campus Tour she hosts with Jonathan Zaslow, and they'll be in Chapel Hill out there on South Columbia Street at the University Baptist Church tomorrow from 10 a.m. to noon. So you can stop by, right? It's a very open media landscape there where you can be in the background, you can be yelling things and asking questions and everything else. Don't yell anything inappropriate, but you can stop by and say hi. The ESPN College Football Campus Tour in Chapel Hill tomorrow. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to stay right on football sides of things because Football at 4 is next. Stick around.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
At Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford, we've got 3 great brands under one roof and deals that will get you in the driver's seat today. We've got the perfect new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for you. Family owned for over 70 years, we treat you like one of our own with friendly service, honest deals, and a commitment that keeps our customers coming back. Plus, state-of-the-art service and collision centers to keep you rolling. Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC. Visit us in Sanford or at wilkinsoncars.com. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Looks like I get to do the weather here at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock check if your weather
meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner.
or
What
not.
a pretty afternoon out there. Just a little breezy, but otherwise mostly sunny with a high of 75, feeling just like fall. Mid-50s tonight, so it's another cool start for your Saturday morning. And then Saturday, 79 with low 80s on Sunday. We'll see partly cloudy skies. We're right now looking rain-free.
Elizabeth Gardner stole my spotlight. 4 o'clock check. By the way, weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 240 points today to 46,761.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4, we're looking at the Carolina Panthers hosting the Miami Dolphins. I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for from Bryce Young. This is a game where you could be very specific with Bryce. You could say, Chuba Hubbard's out. I need you to carry the game offensively. I need the passing game to step up. You could say something like Tedderole McMillan needs to get in the end zone. He hasn't done it yet. Some of the advanced analytics, the target numbers, the air yardage, all these other things show how good he could be, but you're not connecting. I need to see it happen. You could get very specific. I'm talking vibes with Bryce. Do you know what Bryce needs? What I affectionately call healthy amount of bleep it. It's time for Bryce Young to get to bleep it mode. Yes, that. And it's the one thing, right? Because what should every coach involved with Bryce, every person that has any impact, every trainer, every assistant coach, what should Dave Canales, what should Bryce Young be doing himself? Do you know what they all should be doing right now? They should be bringing up the last month of the season last year on film and bringing up the first month of the season this year on film and going, what was happening last year during this stretch that isn't happening now? Were we calling different plays? Was he doing something different technically? What is the difference between the last month last year, where statistically he was one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league, versus this year, where even in wins he's throwing for 120 yards? Right? Even the great is like, well, he didn't lose it for him. That's the best thing you can say about him this year.
Been over 160 yards one time.
And I did some of that. I went in and I brought it up. And After he was benched last year, okay, because remember that happened, right? 2 bad games, benched, stretch of games on the bench, came in for a little mop-up duty here and there, and then Andy Dalton with the thumb injury and the car accident, and Bryce came back in. After that, I noticed a significant increase in bleep it. A significant increase in, what are you going to do, bench me? Already did it. What are you going to do? What can you do? Right? What am I going to do? Throw a bunch of interceptions? Did it. And I'm still standing. He had a significant amount of that, which, it doesn't make sense fully, but I promise you it's true, is like a superpower for a quarterback. The looseness, the instinctiveness, the getting back to just having fun and rolling out there like, I almost had this whole thing taken away from me, and I got a chance at it again, and I'm just going to go out there and let it rip. This year, it appears as if he's playing like he has something to lose again. Because he does, right? If he plays really well this year, or I should say if he played really well this year from the jump, this offseason, right after his 3rd year, there's contract extension talk. You can get $50 million a year and change the life of your kids. Like you can get the generational absurd wealth. And he was playing like if I make a mistake, if I don't do it right, there was very little bleep it. There was very little looseness. There was very little letting it rip, and a lot of trying to place it. Right? That's what they tell pitchers, right? Don't aim, just throw. There's a lot of aiming. There's a lot of placing rather than just rearing back and firing. I want Bryce Young. I want I never advise this of a player. And I probably wouldn't actually tell him if he asked me for advice, but I kind of want him to search his name on Twitter right now and just see what everybody's saying and go, "Oh, they're already out. I've got nothing to lose here." Right? That they're already talking about draft picks. They're already talking about who's next. They're already talking about everything else. So what do I have to lose? Tet, Xavier, let's ride. And just go out there and let it fly. And so I was already thinking about this for Bryce going into this game, right? It feels very much like a just let it go game, man. Just go out there and have fun. So I'm already thinking about that. And then I'm watching Thursday Night Football last night, and Mac Jones is getting beat up. He's like, half the time you watch a play, and then they pan the camera back to him, and he's in like a puddle on the floor, just motionless, or he threw up on the field. They cut to him. He's on the sideline, and he's eating bananas because he's cramping. He's limping because of his knee, but then the ball snapped, and he's kind of just catch and release, right? He's looking for these backup wide receivers that he has. He's going, where's Christian McCaffrey? There he is, and throwing it to him. And they end up winning the game. He outduels Matt Stafford in a way. By the way, Matt Stafford had some throws that were bananas. And Mac Jones wins the game. And I'm watching. Now I'm post-game. I'm getting ready to take the dog out, right? Getting ready to go to bed. And Mac Jones' on-field interview pops up, and I go, I want to hear what he says. And I have I wrote it down. We should have grabbed the audio, but I'll perform it for you. They're talking to him about the mindset, and he goes, Kyle, meaning Kyle Shanahan, his coach, came up to me before the game, and he was pissed that we were underdogs. So he was like, Mac, just let it fly. And I was like, Coach, you don't have to tell me twice. That was Mac Jones' attitude going into that game. Mac Jones has had the dream. He's been a Pro Bowler. He was the starting quarterback of an NFL franchise, first-round pick, and he's had it taken away from him. And last night, due to injury to the starter, he got another shot, and he went out there and played loose and played free and played really gosh darn well. And I went, that's what I'm talking about with Bryce. I don't want Bryce going out there like, what do coaches always say, right? Like, play for the name on the front of your jersey. Play for the name on the back of your jersey. Play for, you're out there, you're representing your legacy. What do you want to be remembered as? I want Bryce to go out there like it's recess. I want Bryce to break a rule. But I want Dave Canales to call a play that is schemed up to end up in Tommy Tremble's hands for a 2-yard gain. And I want Bryce to put his foot in the ground and throw a deep post to Teteroa McMillan because, Coach, I thought he was open. And that brings me to the Dave Canales of it all. I think Dave Canales is too conservative of a play caller. And yesterday or the day before, I forget when it was, when they were talking about second and short. And Dave Canales said, my philosophy on second down and short yardage is to run the ball. And I went, well, it's just so conservative. To not even have your philosophy be, if I think it's time to take a shot, and if not, we can always run the ball. To have your philosophy be something so pigeonholed. And it got me thinking. Dave Canales has only called plays for one other quarterback. It was in Tampa Bay, and it was Baker Mayfield. And that offense, with Baker Mayfield executing a Dave Canales offense, is what got Dave Canales the Carolina Panthers job, right? That is exactly how it all broke down. For 1 year, he was the offensive coordinator with Tampa. He called plays for a Baker Mayfield offense, and off of that performance, he got the Carolina Panthers head coaching job. What do we know about Baker Mayfield?
Gunslinger.
The dude woke up feeling dangerous, right? When he's in his best element, he is a gunslinger. He is the walk-on that was starting at Texas Tech, and when he wasn't given everything he wanted to be given, he left to walk on at Oklahoma. He is the guy who went out there on 2 days' notice and won a Thursday night football game with a 98-yard game-winning drive. He is a guy who had everything Bryce Young had. First overall pick, Moorbound franchise, hoping to be the guy that turned it around, had all those hopes and dreams, and had all of it taken away from him. And he was riding the bench for the Carolina Panthers. And what did he do? He worked his way back to getting a second opportunity with a healthy amount of bleep it. Here's what I think was so good about that Tampa Bay offense when Dave Canales was calling the plays. Dave Canales would call his conservative plays, and occasionally Baker Mayfield would say, I'm going to take this backside deep post. That is not the number one option here, but I'm Baker Mayfield, and I want Mike Evans to score a touchdown. And they balanced each other out, right? So the offense was a little bit of both, right? It was the best parts of the conservative, smart, responsible play calling of Dave Canales, and a little bit of the push it downfield, reckless, bleep it of Baker Mayfield, and it came together to make an offense that got Dave Canales his head coaching job. Then he gets Bryce Young, and what is Bryce Young? By all accounts, Bryce Young is a great dude, works hard, tries hard. You know what else he is? He's coachable, right? It feels like at times he was made in a lab, right? He was given quarterback guru coaching from, I don't know, like 8 years old, and he's one of these like test tube quarterbacks that was the number 1 8th grader and the number 1 9th grader and the number 1 10th grader and the number 2 overall recruit, goes to Alabama where he backs up a national championship quarterback, and then he's the Heisman Trophy winner, and then he's the number 1 overall pick. And I'm going like, he does exactly what he's told. He makes smart decisions. He makes good decisions. He makes the responsible choice. I want to empower him to get a little Baker Mayfield bleep it. I want to empower him to become a little bit more of a, I ask for forgiveness rather than permission. And I think this is a really good game to have it. And I'll even work in some of my personal experience at a significantly lower level, 1/100th, maybe 1/1000th of a level. So I play quarterback at the University of Delaware. For those of you that don't know, I say it all the time, so I apologize if you've heard it. One of the biggest regrets of my career is that I was extremely trying to please the coaches. There were plays on the field in clutch moments where I've studied my film. I knew my playbook. I knew the defense, and I was sitting there going, this play isn't going to work. They've got a good defense called for what we're trying to do, and I know it. And because the coach hadn't given me full autonomy to change the play like Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage, I would just sit there and go, all right, this play isn't going to. Red 5 said hut. right? Take the snap, execute the play, probably get my running back hit or throw it away, right? Try to mitigate the damage. But looking back, I'm like, why not change the play to something you know is going to work? Or is going to have a better chance, and then go explain to the coach why you did it. Here's what happened. As long as you're super confident, right? If you're 50-50, no, especially not where I was in my career. But if I'm Bryce Young, what do you have to lose? Oh, it's 2nd and short. We're going to run another up the middle for Chuba Hubbard. Or easy, check. Ralph, give me a Elvis, Louis. Like, do what you got to do. If it doesn't work, eat that, but you're a professional quarterback. If it doesn't work, own it, but try to make sure it works. You know what I mean? Don't change plays that could work, right? Don't change plays where you're looking at going, actually, this is a pretty good call. We'll probably pick up the first. Don't change those just to change it. Don't check to the deep ball just because you want some stats. But have a healthy amount of bleep it. A healthy amount of what can you do to me? You've already benched me once. Heck, we both might be out of a job by this time next year. That's what I want to see. And by the way, like, players respect the hell out of that. They respect the heck out of somebody that is so confident in themselves that they're out there doing everything they can to make it work. And wide receivers definitely love it when you're checking the plays where they get the ball.
Oh, of course they do.
That's just how life works.
I think it's interesting that you brought up in the sense of maybe the pressure that Bryce is feeling now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, he understands players. I think we discount the fact that players are very aware of what goes on in the business aspect of, like, more aware than ever before. And these guys know that, hey, after the 3rd year, I can sign an extension. And Bryce Young has seen it. Of so many other quarterbacks that came in the years before him, after that 3rd year, get that big contract extension. And he's like, okay, well, I have to play well in order, like you said, to secure that for myself, for my family, whatever it might be. And that can mess with people's minds.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, if I don't play well, I don't know how long this can go. But if I do play well, I'm set for a long, long time. I'm not saying that his rookie contract won't, obviously pay him enough as is.
It's like gross generational wealth rather than just generational wealth. And
also the narratives and everything that go around your career too.
I try to put this in like terms that us quote unquote normal folk can grasp. But imagine if you had to do your job knowing if you did it perfectly, you got $150 million. And if you didn't, if you made a big mistake, none of it. Like that, like just something you do every single day, something you do very, very well with no defense trying to stop you and no, game day atmosphere, no, not the stress of having millions of people watching. Just whatever your job is. Imagine if you knew, all right, I'm going to have to do this near perfect, or at least 90 out of 100. Right, I'm going to have to get an A 17 times over the next 4 months, and if I get an A on all of them, I get $150 million. It might be something you do every day, and you're still going to be like hands shaking when you go to do it that first time, because that's no joke. And I don't care if he, like, yes, he already has whatever it is, $30 million from his first. 150 is a lot.
It's different. Again, also there's the whole conversation about what the narrative is around you.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, I'm first overall pick. I don't want to be another one of the guys listed as a bust.
I think that is, and like everyone wants to look for, the Panthers had Sam Darnold and they had Baker Mayfield, and look at Justin Fields. I think an underrated part of it is when you're on like your 3rd team, when you're on your 4th team, when you're Geno Smithing it in Seattle, there is a part of like, listen, guys, I thought my career was over 3 times already. Like I'm out here just this is gravy, right? I'm out here just trying to make it work. Let's go have some fun. Let's live it up one more time. Let's do it for the memories. And then you're out there and suddenly you're like, oh, wait, would you say I'm 34 for 40 for 380? When did that happen? I was just out there trying to have a good time with my bros. That's kind of what I want to see from Bryce this week. And honestly, I kind of want to see it from Tua too. Like, that's just me rooting for every quarterback because I know how tough it is when you're not playing well at quarterback. I kind of want to see, like, Tua and, right, with Tyreek Hill hurt, Jalen Waddle, guy that he goes back to college with. I kind of want them to be out there, like, playing 7-on-7. Obviously, I don't want them to have more success than the Panthers, but, like, both of them are starting to have some things kind of taken away from them, and that makes them a little bit invincible. Now, I know there was some stuff going on behind the scenes here, but we got through it, and
we'll see.
And that makes me a little bit more nervous. If it works, we'll be back after this with the ladder challenge. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
Hey, NC State. Hey, Carolina Panthers. It just wasn't meant to be again. It's okay to say you're not okay, but fixing it is not as simple as adding softies to your schedule. There's something broken within your organizations, and without meaningful change, the locker rooms could be lost again.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out the Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Here's Shepard again through the left side, cuts inside, runs over a man, into the end zone, touchdown! Get you some of that, it's 30-3.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan on a Friday. Don't forget, everybody, Sunday, I will be at the Carolina Ale House in Cary for a little Panthers watch party all football season long. You can watch all the games at the Carolina Ale Houses throughout the area. For your own house, there's so many different games, so many different streaming services. You need 700 different TVs just to watch them. Or you could just go to a Carolina Ale House, have the food, have the drink, have the atmosphere, and let them take care of getting all the games up on the right screens. That's what I recommend, and that's what I'll be doing on Sunday. Sunday for the Panthers game, I'll have giveaways, I'll have merch, I'll have a little bit of gift cards to be passing around. Might pick up some of your meaning pay for some of your meal. slide you a gift card, whatever it is. Maybe I'll make you earn it. Maybe I'll make you make a prediction, right? Will this next play be a complete or incomplete pass? If you get it right, you get a gift card. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Depends if you're giving off good vibes or not. So that's all at Carolina Ale House in Cary. They have their new fall menu dishes, Buffalo Zinger mac and cheese, black and blue pub chips, and more. So check them all out. In the meantime, it is time for a little ladder challenge action where Dennis and I will continue to battle it out.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
All right, you know how it goes. Every day, both Dennis and I make every show, we make a likely to win bet. It's -500 to -1,000, somewhere in that range. And if we get it right, the next show we roll over stake winnings, the entire payout, and we do it over and over and over again at the end of the month. Whoever has the most money wins. If you lose, you go back to $10. Dennis, how did it go for you last night?
Went well yesterday. I just needed Christian McCaffrey to get 15 or more receiving yards. I think he nailed that on about one play.
Yep, it was definitely – I got to the game about halfway through the first series. He already had it. So, yeah.
What about you? How'd it go yesterday?
Similar. I had Puka Nacua at least 50 receiving yards. He had 8 catches, 80-something yards, the touchdown. 10 catches, 80-something yards and a touchdown. So they're going to make sure he gets the ball enough. I wasn't worried about it. So, yes, that's a win for me and a win for you. I believe you had a little bit better odds, so your money is a bit higher than mine, so you get to start us off.
That I do. So I am actually up to let's see what I'm up to yesterday. I'm so sorry about this. I am actually up to $13.62.
I'm at $12.66. So you're leading off. You get to go first.
So I'm going to take Tua Tagovailoa.
Interesting.
Miami Dolphins to throw one passing touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. It's a -593. -593.
Why do you hate the Panthers so much?
I mean, it's just I'm just taking what's easy.
You don't think?
But much like opposing teams against the Panthers.
There could be. I was going to say they might score 50 and have them all be rushing touchdowns.
It's possible.
There's. I'm not saying. Obviously, it's a good bet. Obviously, the odds will tell you that. But there's some brutal ways you could lose that bet. There's some like swing passes to Achane that look like passes, but they're actually.
How do they change it to a run?
They're actually backwards passes. Like they are creative. That was a handoff. So there's different ways.
You know what? Early in the month, I'm going to go a little bleep it.
Hey, there you go.
My level of bleep it. Of course, the thing's not working for me. Hit the bleep. But anyway, 1362 will turn into 1591.
All right. For this one, for me for the weekend, I'm standing on a take. I don't know if I've said it on air enough, but I think Dennis will back me up, even though I don't have the receipts on air. I'm taking Woody Marks 50 or more rushing plus receiving yards. He is the running back out of Southern Cal that is on the Houston Texans. He was one of my draft steals, draft loves, and he ended up going to the Texans in the 4th round. I did not think he'd go that high. I was like, he's going to be the steal of the 6th. He went 4th, which made me feel smart. But then Chubb isn't playing well. Mixon's hurt. He broke out last week. D'Amico Ryan's their coach.
Mm-hmm.
I watched their mic'd up when Woody Marks scored his 2nd touchdown of last week. D'Amico was going nuts. What a move! What a move! Then he immediately got on the headset and said to his running back's coach, whose initials are DB. He's like, "There's your back right there, DB." And I was like, that probably means they're going to keep giving him the ball. 50 or more rushing plus receiving yards for Woody Marks. It is -518.
Nice.
So hopefully a decent payout there. Trying to catch up to you, even if we don't get them wrong.
I will say this: you have been high on Woody Marks for a while.
Woody Marks, my nerddom. When I want to show how much of a nerd I am, I go like, I'm just over here watching Woody Marks highlights.
I can confirm.
Yeah,
that you've done that. I'm like, why are you watching the rookie running back for the Texans?
I wanted him to get drafted by the Panthers. Him and Brashard Smith for the Chiefs. I wanted both of them to be drafted by the Panthers, or one of them, not both, obviously. Either way, if it hits, $15.10. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm hoping for. Now we can look towards some college games this weekend. Matter of fact, I'm very early in my draft prep for 2026, and what I mean by that is I haven't really done much or any. But 2027 draft is creeping up, and I might put Hollywood Smothers on there. Hollywood Smothers, it looks like I'll put it this way for State fans. State, by the way, hosting Campbell this weekend, looking for a bounce back after a bad loss to Virginia Tech last week. And that's what we're talking about, the State Campbell game right here on 99.9 The Fan. He is a unbelievably modern back. Okay? There's an evolution of the running back that is happening where it's gone. Even like Derrick Henry is a throwback, and he's still one of the best running backs in the league. But it's just becoming more and more rare to have a guy that, you hand it off between the tackles and he can run through arms tackles. There are a few of them. Genty is a big tackle breaker. Omarion Hampton can run through tackles. He had a great run last week. We know what he can do out of UNC. But then there's this other group, right? Kind of the more Jahmyr Gibbs-ish group. Right, even Bijan Robinson. If you watch Bijan Robinson, his jump cuts and his lateral moves, Saquon Barkley with the hurdles and the jump cuts. Like you have to be able to do a little bit of everything. You got to catch passes. You got to run outside. You got to run inside. You got to be able to line up in the slot. Got to be able to do a little bit of everything. And Hollywood Smothers is from that mold. And State going into this Campbell game, there is an element of, like, when you're really mad and I don't know, your therapist tells you, and I'm making all of this up, to like go to the gym and hit the heavy bag. Like, there is an element of that for NC State this weekend, right? The Duke game, you were up 20-7 and you lost. Then you go into Virginia Tech and you have no juice and you lose that one. You probably want to go hit the heavy bag for a little bit, right? It's a Bryson Young range session after a bad, or not Bryson Young, Bryson DeChambeau. After a bad golf tournament where he's just taking the driver and swinging as hard as he can at the range till like 10 o'clock at night. So, you're not there working on your swing. You're just there doing the water boy, right? Imagining people you don't like on the golf ball and swinging as hard as you possibly can. I'm sure State wants that to happen, right? You want to go take out your yayas on Campbell, which means running game, right? Means offensive line, means push them around. I also think it's you want to start your streaks. You want to start the things that you want to continue against Notre Dame and against Pitt and against these teams later on in your schedule. So I take you back to earlier this week. I'm talking with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, my co-host on the Pack Therapy podcast. And I forget if it was on this show, maybe on the pod. Check out the podcast, by the way. New episode this week, out everywhere. Find it on our 99.9 The Fan app, YouTube channel 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe everywhere podcasts can be found. But I've taken this season to asking Mike if-then statements. Going into a big game, I say, if blank happens, then State will win the game. And I ask him to fill in the blank. And it's basically another way to say, like, what are the key points of the game? For this week, right, I think there's a lot of different ways they could beat Campbell. Right? They could throw for a bunch of yards. They could run for a bunch of yards. They could pitch a shutout. They could have special teams. Like, there's a lot of different ways they could lead a win. So I changed it just a little bit. And I said, if blank happens, then State will win 7 or more games this year. And his response was, if Hollywood Smothers, I think he said 100. If Hollywood Smothers averages 100 rushing yards per game or more, then State can win 7 games. And I mean, he might not have said 100, maybe he said 80. I forget what the actual number was. But basically he said if Hollywood Smothers gets going, and I even clarified. I said total yards or rushing yards? And he said rushing yards. He wants State's offensive line and the running game to get going, and basically off of that, he's confident that C.J. Bailey in the passing game can have success, and you can control the ball and give the defense time to rest and everything else. Hollywood Smothers is the engine, but the offensive line is a big part of that. And if you want to be able to be a running team, if you want to major in running, if you want your identity to be running the football, it's probably smart to start it against Campbell than it is to reestablish it. I know you did it well earlier in the year. Reestablish it against Campbell than to reestablish it against Notre Dame, or to reestablish it against Georgia Tech, or to reestablish it against Miami, or whoever else is remaining on your schedule. And then the beauty of the Hollywood Smothers thing is you don't need to give him 3 yards across the line of scrimmage before contact, but you got to give him 1. You know what I mean? There's some of this going on with Ashton Genty in the NFL, where through the first 3 games, he was averaging minus 1.3 yards before contact. Like, he was on average on his handoffs getting hit over a yard into the backfield. And then in his fourth game this past week, they gave him just like 0.3 yards past the line of scrimmage on average before contact, and he ran for 160 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. It's like you don't have to give him the world's biggest, hole in the offensive line. You just have to give him enough that he can, make a guy miss and make something happen. I'm not saying Hollywood Smothers is Ashton Genty. I'm not saying he's going to finish second in the Heisman. But I am saying the task for the offensive line is easier when you have a back like him behind you running the ball. You don't have to, create these wide open running lanes that you can fit a Mack truck through. You just got to get him a chance to get moving, right? You got to give him 3 steps so even he can set up the guy who he's going to make miss, right? When you get the ball and there's a defender there, right, your footwork is kind of locked through the handoff. Then you can be a running back. But through the handoff, you can't really be juking and everything because that's how fumbles happen. So I'm looking towards the offensive line against Campbell, not just protecting C.J. Bailey, but give Hollywood a chance. Give Smothers a chance to make something happen. I think he'll have a big game. We also haven't talked enough about the Duke Cal will do quickly, but I also want to get to some UNC stuff. For Duke Cal, correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, their offense feels dependable.
It does, especially the way their running game has gotten going over the last couple of weeks.
I would say their passing game is almost like we take it for granted. Like they're 250 plus and a couple touchdowns, and then anything above that is like nice.
I think Mensa's lowest pass total in a game is 269 this season.
And that will probably, like I said, we're probably taking it for granted. But you add what Shepard and Castle have done on the ground recently, kind of now that they've consolidated their carries to those 2 guys more than the 4 or 5-headed monster they had early in the year.
Injuries have necessitated that, but
true,
it's working.
But it's, happy accident, right? The 2 have been figuring it out. The running game is getting there too. So, at the risk of eating my words on Monday, kind of confident in the offense. The defense, I want to know if that's real, right? I like Manny Diaz. I believe he can scheme it up. I believe he's a really good defensive mind, but you got to do it consistently, right? And they held Syracuse to 3 last week. Is that them turning a corner? After giving up points to Illinois and giving up points to Tulane and giving up points to State, are they turning a corner? Or was that you got a backup quarterback in Syracuse, they're fresh off a season-ending injury for their record-setting statistical first couple of games quarterback, and you were opportunistic. Cal is an interesting one because, A, it's on the road, it's late at night, all that. They have an impressive quarterback, but he's a freshman quarterback, Jaron Kiave Sagupolutele. If I'm Duke, if I'm Manny Diaz, and I have veterans in the secondary, veterans in the linebacker corps, veterans in the defensive front, I'm thinking this is a chance for our veteranship to confuse the heck out of a freshman quarterback. That's the thing that I want to see. I want stunts up front. I want bluff blitzes. I want exotic blitzes. I want simulated pressures. I want late rotation of safeties. I want window dressing, right? Just movements that don't actually mean anything but make them think it might mean something. I want barking out fake codes. I want the defense yelling state names, right? Utah, Utah. It means nothing. No, not Utah, New Mexico. None of it means anything. Just to make him think they're changing things. I want to see Duke's defense take center stage against Cal because I admittedly am probably taking their offense for granted. And then to jump quickly to the UNC Clemson game. Clemson still has dudes on defense. And I've probably contributed to this, so I'll put my hand up. Clemson and UNC, based on where their expectations were, have both underperformed and underachieved this year, right? And maybe expectations were a little unfair for UNC. I don't think that was the case for Clemson. But either way, because of that, it feels like going into this game, it's almost like, 2 teams that are equally down. Clemson still has dudes on defense, okay?
The names are there.
TJ Parker fell in the Athletic did a mock draft preseason, and they just re-upped it yesterday. They redid it, kind of like, second edition, second draft, whatever you want to call it. TJ Parker fell all the way from 3rd to 14th. He fell all the way, if we're talking NBA draft, from top 3 pick to lottery pick. Avion Terrell actually went up. He's at 12th. Peter Woods went up. He's at 3rd. So there's 3 top 14 picks on Clemson's defense, according to The Athletic, as of yesterday. That means UNC's offense is still going to have their hands full. And now we know Max Johnson's going to be starting, which leads me to one of my favorite questions. And, Dennis, I think you like this, like as we nerd out on sports and nerd out on football more and more together, I think you like this question as much as I do. What's their identity? What's UNC's offensive identity? What did they do? Another way to put it, what's their 7-iron, right? Because, if anyone that's watched Tin Cup, right? If Roy McAvoy, the golfer in the movie, is ever having a bad day, if he can't hit the clubs, if it's left, right, slice, hook, shank, whatever, he always knows he can go back to his 7-iron and hit it pure. That's the club he always hits. So I think of it in that way for football offenses occasionally, right? When you can't complete a pass, when your play calling is getting one-upped by the defensive play caller, when it feels like guys are getting hurt, where's your 7-iron? What do you go to when you just need a good play?
I'm sure you had that in college as an
Absolutely.
offense. We're going to run this play. I had it. Same thing. Lacrosse, we all had it. This one thing can get us going.
This is what we do. This is who we are. The UNC offense hasn't had that yet. Now, if we give them all of the benefits of the doubt, new coach, 70 new players, right? So much new. Even the coaches that they have are new to college, so they're learning that. Like, if we give them all the benefit of the doubt and say, all right, we'll give you a preseason, right? You're used to having a preseason, all you NFL coaches, we'll give you 4 preseason games. We'll call it the non-conference schedule. Then we'll take a week off. Then the season starts against Clemson. Well, guess what? Season starts now. What do you do? What is your thing? And with Clemson still having all that talent, what you do well against Clemson, you should be confident that you can do well against anybody, right? If you go out there and run the football, you should be confident you can run the football against anyone on your schedule. If you go out there and complete passes at a high level or, take shots downfield and it works, like whatever you do in this game that you try to major in, you try to make your thing, I think that can be something you build off of for the rest of this season. That can be, all right, we know we can do this. How do we build off of that? Because, I'll be honest, all right? When I was playing quarterback, we had All-American running back. We had 3 All-American offensive linemen. I had very little to do with our 7-iron. My 7-iron was making sure I checked us to the right run play and giving it to Andrew Pierce. But I also knew if our 7-iron was working, guess what? That meant play action. That meant the safeties were going to be creeping down into the box and I could beat them over the top. That meant that my fun would come later. And that's why I was always rooting like heck for our running offense, right? I wanted 8 people in the box trying to stop our running offense because that made my job so much easier. That's what UNC has to figure out. What are they so good at that it's going to make every other part of their offense easier? And that's what I want to see against Clemson, whether they win or not, right? If it's a close game, competitive into the fourth quarter, I think you take that as a step in the right direction for UNC, even with Clemson reeling, because I think them reeling from where their expectations were is still a level above where UNC is.
And also, to build off that and kind of wrap up this, Max Johnson looks like he's starting tomorrow.
Yep. WRAL is reporting that he is.
When you have a backup quarterback in, who might be the long-term starter this season, we'll have to wait and see in that regard. When you're switching quarterbacks, you better find that 7-iron real fast. Because that might settle him down, even though he's super experienced, but doing this offense.
I actually think he'll be –
I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine. I also think I think he will be as fine as that offense can be. I don't think if they play poorly, it'll be because of Max Johnson. But I also think it might zero in their play calling a bit more. Like, he is a pocket passer, especially post-injury. So sometimes it's, all right, let's take away all our quarterback movement stuff is kind of liberating for a coach, right? It's you ever been to like a Cheesecake Factory?
Oh, yeah.
That menu's a little overwhelming now. You're like, I'm on page 17 and I haven't even gotten to the entrees yet. Like, sometimes you want a Denny's menu, right? The one sheet and it's laminated. Sometimes you want to limit your options a little bit. That might happen with Max Johnson. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and we do have real bold predictions coming up, which should be fun. Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for about 9 weeks now. Actually, just over 2 months. About 9 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost 40 pounds thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And to put that into another perspective, that's about 13% of my body weight I've lost in 9 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And something about the program that I'm excited about is not only reaching that goal weight that I want to get down to, their whole goal, their whole plan at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is to help you maintain that weight long term. And that's one of the things that I know I'm looking forward to, is not just getting down to that target weight, but also keeping it down there as well. The program over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, there's no shots, no injections, so don't have to worry about any of those crazy side effects or anything along those lines. You're not doing HGH, no steroids, not juicing up over here. It's all about resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way your body can do the thing that it naturally can do, which is burn off fat, which is burn off weight. And that's exactly what their goal is there, to get your body to do the natural thing. If you have questions, if you have concerns, you can get those concerns answered just by giving them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. Again, a free 15-minute phone call, answer all the questions, see if the program is the right thing for you, get an idea of what the plan is, and that's the key part about it as well. There's an actual plan for you to follow, which makes things so much easier when it comes to the weight loss journey. 919-897-7506, or again, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Set up that free 15-minute consultation now. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to real, bold predictions. Coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is your year if you're Buffalo. This is your year. The competition in the AFC in terms of number of great teams is less than it feels like it's been. You have to take advantage of it.
I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC, and every single team has major questions with the exception of the Buffalo Bills.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No, I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Football season is here, and Carolina Ale House is the place to be. With a massive beer selection, wall-to-wall TVs, and our award-winning wings, you'll never miss a play. Add in our lineup of homemade favorites, and you've got the best seat in the house. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and help us create that game day atmosphere all season long at Carolina Ale House. Wings, beer, sports, repeat. Ale yeah.
Today's real estate market can be a little challenging. That's why you need a company with both personal expertise and cutting-edge tools to deliver exceptional results. At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, innovative programs like Buy Before You Sell, Find It First, and their 100% money-back guarantee help you buy and sell with ease and seamlessly navigate every step of the home ownership journey. To learn why you should work with the #1 family-owned real estate firm in the country, contact an agent or visit howardhannatate.com.
Now he'll backhand one up Stankoven. Stankoven with a shot. He scores! Logan Stankoven! And for the first time in this series, the Canes have a lead. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for one of our favorite, at least one of my favorite, segments of the week. It's Real Bold Predictions. All right, the way this works, we get out the bell and the buzzer. We call it the bold enough bell, the not bold enough buzzer, and we make predictions. If we get the buzzer, we got to make it more bold on the spot. If we get the bell, then we're good to go on to the next one. For today, we're actually going to start off with a special pick for Real Bold Predictions. It is the Panthers paw print, brought to you by Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care, proudly serving the Triangle with multiple locations. Find yours at wakeortho.com. The Panthers paw print bold prediction will be a prediction from Dennis, a prediction from me. I will just have to go or ding to be the judge for Dennis. He'll get to use the real cool sound effects. But it's a bold prediction for a player on the Panthers for their game against the Dolphins this weekend. Dennis, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
I'll
go first. Tedero McMillan catches a touchdown pass. Okay. Tedero McMillan.
Yo, this is fun. I don't get to do this that often. There it is.
Tedero McMillan catches a touchdown and has 8 catches in the game.
Ding. That's a lot. I think it's realistic based on targets. He gets a lot of targets, but he hasn't been, for not all his fault. Some his fault. Some drops, some errant throws, some good defensive plays, some on and on and on and on. Some balls knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't catch 8 that often. I'm gonna go with this. How about a little Rico Dowdle?
I'll go on.
We'll go with 80 total yards and a touchdown.
Ooh, 80 and a touchdown? I actually will take that based off the way the running backs have produced so far this season for the Panthers.
I will say total. I said total yards.
I know.
Oh,
and I know.
Because the Dolphins do give up a decent amount of receiving yards to running backs. I know this from fantasy football. They are 4th in the league in receiving yards given up to running backs.
The Panthers have a terrible screen game, though.
True.
Like, they can't run a screen to save their lives.
But, I mean, going back to training camp, I feel like I've just seen a lot of clips of Rico Dowdle catching passes. I think they trust him in that role maybe even a little bit more than Chuba. So with him out there more often, it might open up that part of the playbook. How about this for a real bold prediction? That by the way, Panthers paw print bold predictions, brought to you by Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care, proudly serving the Triangle with multiple locations. Find yours at wakeortho.com. I want this one on the record, Dennis. Panthers win. There it is. I think there's maybe it's just one of those things that football is the perfect for our attention span. Mm-hmm. You leave a Sunday, just your team is the worst, and by the next Sunday, you've already talked yourself into them being good again.
Hey, we have a chance.
I think they have a chance. I do.
They don't have Tyreek Hill.
When you're watching like a bad NHL hockey team, and you play like on a Wednesday and a Friday, like you don't have time to talk yourself back into it.
No, you don't.
But in the NFL, you do. Like by Thursday, you're like, they're dealing with some injuries on their side too. By Saturday, you're already like, they're coming to our house. By Sunday, you're like, I'm betting on them. What's the spread? I think they got a chance there. Real bold predictions, more of them. For Clemson at North Carolina. Klubnik, 2 turnovers. 3 turnovers?
He's turned the ball over a bunch this year.
That's part of it. If you have a quarterback and a pretzel, I know that the first month maybe hasn't lived up to it. I still can't imagine that it's not a huge advantage to have Bill Belichick running a defense with a quarterback that's not seeing the field well. Like that has to mean something. Cade Klubnik last year did a great job protecting the football. He hasn't done a great job this year yet. And I have to imagine that Bill Belichick can take advantage of that. Campbell at State. Smothers 150-plus rushing yards.
Hey, you said rushing yards. If you said total yards, I would have thought about it. But you said rushing.
Well, that actually plays into it because I was going to go like 150 total yards or maybe more. And then I thought, well, actually, if they're ahead, they might not be slinging it around, and they probably got to take care of receivers and tight ends. But I was like, but if they're ahead, they're going to be running the ball. And Smothers, at least, into the second half, will be getting a lot of those carries. So 150-plus rushing yards. Duke at Cal. I'll probably have to go further on this one. But Darian Mensah throws for 300-plus yards. He hasn't thrown for 300 as often as you'd think. He has a couple really big games and a couple high 200 games.
I think he has 3 300-yard games this year.
315 plus.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
There we go.
That game might be a shootout.
It would be really fun if it is. Get a little 12 midnight 30, and you're watching teams score their 50th and 47th point, like true old school Pac-12 after dark.
I mean, let's see, a 10:30 kickoff. Yeah, you might be looking at 2 a.m.
There was a game.
56, 54. Here we go. 2 minutes left.
There was a game. I might be getting my timelines wrong. I think it was Dorian Thompson-Robinson at UCLA with Chip Kelly, and Mike Leach maybe at Washington State with Gardner Minshew. And I vividly remember watching it until like 1 a.m., and the final score was like 64-58, and it was pure chaos. If that happens, it wouldn't be good for Duke because that means their defense is falling apart, but it would be really fun to watch. Last couple here. Dennis, are you aware of this? This is our last bold prediction before the season gets started for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, let's go.
Because they start on Thursday.
That's
we do
right,
bold
they
predictions
do.
on Friday.
Let's go.
So I want to get just a couple of, before we see them on the ice for any real regular season hockey bold predictions out there. Starting with Carolina Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup. I think they're a team that learns. They're a team that has been close, and every year they expose a new flaw and fix it in the offseason. I think it's going to be a magical time. And it's bold enough to just say they win the cup. Would I have gotten it for just saying win the East?
No.
Okay. That's another thing that I haven't done in a very long time.
I know.
Sebastian Aho.
Okay.
100-plus points. This is one I think we've done like bold predictions like this same segment leading into Canes. I want to say 100-plus points for Aho. This is my third straight year predicting it. It's one of those things that I think it's going to happen. It's similar to like Tedero McMillan's going to score a touchdown. It's like I know you're good enough to do it. I know your skill set leads into it. I want to have predicted it when it happens. So I'm going Aho 100-plus points. Next one. Jarvis.
Go on.
40 or more goals. 40's not going to get it done?
No, because we all know he's destined for 40 this year.
43 or more. Goals are a hard one to jump up by like round numbers. It's hard to go from like 40 to 45 and feel like that's even in the same conversation.
I thought you would throw maybe 40 goals and 80 points or something like that.
I could have done that, but I was kind of going like Aho total points, Jarvis with the goals. I think they're gonna, and then Ehlers is in there obviously as well somewhere. Last one. Ready? I think both Nikishin and Keandre Miller.
Go on.
More points than Orlov.
Combined or each?
Each. Combined would have been.
Yeah, Mike.
I'll take that. Both 10 more points than Orlov.
I'm trying to remember what Orlov actually finished.
I get
29 points. You have to,
and he's gonna have a bigger role.
Yeah.
I get frustrated by all these articles previewing, and they're like, the Canes are gonna miss Orlov, which I like Orlov, I do, but I'm like they're bringing up some dudes with some talent to put on that blue line, so I want them to go outperform him by a bunch. Even though I like Orlov, like I said, I think he tried hard.
Yeah, 28 points last year,
and he'll have obviously a more featured role on
in San Jose.
Not as good team.
But yeah, I could see. I mean,
Nikishin at least hasn't been on like the latest iterations of even the Power Play 2 unit, which I think will take away some of his point producing abilities if he's not out there consistently. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Are there any bold predictions on the Canes you want to register quickly? I'm putting you on the spot. We have a minute.
The Carolina Hurricanes will have 4 players reach 30 or more goals this season.
Name them.
Ehlers, Aho, Jarvis, Svetch.
Ding. It's 4, could be a trade involved.
No, 30 or more goals.
30 or more. I mean, that'd be.
Last year they had 2.
That means those top 2 lines are cruising.
Oh, I know.
Which would be pretty awesome. Want to make any Stanky predictions, Stankoven?
Oh, Logan Stankoven this season? Logan Stankoven, 25 goals this year.
That'd be nice.
25 goals, 45 points.
Gosh, 25 goals, 45 points for him, and you look at that contract and just go, yes.
Yeah. And you're like,
it's just going to keep
and it's
going.
only going to get better?
Let's go. Let's go. Second line center most of the season. He holds the position.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. If you have any bold predictions, if you want to register yours for the Canes, YouTube live stream comments, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You can send them to us on Twitter at 99.9 The Fan or at Donnelly Sports or at The Fan Rookie. Carrier pigeon, smoke signals, however you get it to us. Just make sure there's a timestamp. Get it in before the first game. The starting five is coming up next here on The Drive. We'll talk more Canes, more college football, more NFL. There's so much going on. Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
One last exhale. Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
I feel like I am special, that I'm receiving an award for being an athlete.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Gorgeous day today. It's going to be cool this evening for area high school football games. The low tonight 52. Mostly sunny for your Saturday. It is milder. The high 79. Partly cloudy Sunday. A high temperature at 80.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 238 points today to 46,758.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into the starting five, the high school OT game of the week, talking high school in the area. top 20 matchup between Leesville Road and Millbrook. There'll be a whole live broadcast presented by Alpaca. Cap 8A conference contenders.
That's right. By the way, Millbrook's got a couple of top 100 guys in the class of, I guess they're currently juniors. So in their recruiting class, they got a couple of top 100, 150 guys. Some studs.
Recruiting is a funny world. But if you're in it, you're fascinated by it. It's the top 100 guys are legit. So
yeah, these guys are like high 4-star recruits.
Yeah, which means they're hearing from all the famous coaches around the country.
Yeah,
they're hearing NIL pitches, if you know what I mean. So there you go. That's a little update for you. High school OT game of the week. Let's get to the starting 5. Starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
The Carolina Hurricanes have their final preseason game tomorrow at Nashville. Dennis, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
As I like to do it when we talk hockey.
All right.
I am taking off the table is your options of answers. I'm taking off everybody stays healthy because that's obviously the number one. Everybody wants it for preseason. So other than everybody stays healthy, what do you want to see from the last preseason game?
It's hard to put it like something tangible on it.
I completely agree.
But I want to see Nikolai Ehlers be more comfortable skating alongside Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. I just want to see that chemistry continue to grow in actual live game action.
I'm with you on that. Like, as far as, I don't care what the score is. I don't care, what the plus minus on ice is. It's preseason. I almost think this one, I call it the final dress rehearsal. I think they're going to dress mostly their NHL roster. Maybe a few of the guys that are just getting over injuries, they'll keep them off. But I think for the most part, it'll be the guys you're expecting to see game one. And it's as much about function as it is actual play. It's about making sure the new guys know how you do things on game day and making sure everybody kind of knocks whatever rust they have off and making sure there's no communication errors. Every team that I've ever been on, going back to Pop Warner does this, right? You have the game before the game, right? Your last scrimmage in training camp where you almost treat it exactly like a game. So there's no, you don't want to spend brain power on actual game day on who do I sit next to on the bus? You kind of want to have all of that into a routine. So, where do the defensemen warm up? Where do we stretch? You want all of that kind of lined up. So I think that's what it's about as much as anything. And then the actual on the ice stuff, I'm grouping. I think I'm going to go first month. I think I'm grouping this last preseason game and I'm just throwing it in with the first month of the regular season, where I'm expecting growing pains.
Sure.
I'm expecting, rookie mistakes for some of the Nikishins of the world. I'm expecting Ehlers to, turn left when Aho's expecting him to turn right, the super obvious stuff. And I'm just going to try to learn as much as we can. Right? I think teams in the past for the Canes, especially over the last 5-6 years, whatever it is, you feel like you come in really knowing what they are. This year, I think there's enough new, there's enough fresh, there's enough different, there's enough experimenting going on that I want to learn, right? And then after a month, then, okay, here's what they do, here's what they do well, here's who skates well with each other, and you can start having real opinions. But until then, it's an information gathering trip. It's a to use a sales term from back in my sales training days, it's a CNA, little client needs analysis. I'm just here to learn. I'm here to ask questions. I'm not here to sell you anything yet. I just want to know what your business needs so I can help solve your problems. I'm looking at the Canes going, TNA, team needs analysis. I'm not here to solve anything yet. I'm not making any trades. I'm not making any permanent changes to positions or lines. I'm just experimenting. I just want to see. I want to learn what you need. And that's I'll group this one in, right? If I learn something about the way Ehlers skates with Aho, I'll take note of it, but I'm not making any changes here. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. Give me a month.
By the way, quick news regarding the Carolina Hurricanes. Giovanni Smith, who's on a professional tryout contract with the team. skating in the preseason, has been signed to a 2-way contract. So he can go down to the American Hockey League to send him down to Chicago if they need to call him up. Perfect for, especially now that Tyson Jost claimed by Nashville.
Do you know who is jacked up right now?
Who?
Micah in Morrisville.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He wanted, and by the way, like Giovanni Smith is very much what the preseason is about. He's a guy that showed up on like a true
professional tryout.
Let's see what you got kind of vibe. And he played well, and he played intense, and he took it seriously, and he fought when he felt he needed to fight, and he scored he produced some points, and he played good hockey. And now he has a role, and potentially a significant one, on a contending franchise, right? And the irony is Micah called in before the first preseason game. And shout out to Micah, hat tip Micah in Morrisville, one of our loyal listeners. And he said, I could see Giovanni Smith playing a Brendan Lemieux role. And Brendan Lemieux was not skating every day. He was the healthy extra a bunch, brought a little sandpaper. Maybe that's what Giovanni Smith is destined for. And he's not afraid to drop the gloves, which endears you to certain fans.
Real quick, also as well, Mark Jankowski's return to Nashville. Tribute video tomorrow.
I mean, I hate tribute videos, but yeah, why not?
A preseason game.
Why not? Yeah, give him like a tribute half hour. Like, why not? It's
there
preseason.
You go.
There's some familiar faces from the Canes on that other side, too.
It's true.
That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
Here's Shepard again through the left side, cuts inside, runs over a man, into the end zone, touchdown! Get you some of that, it's 30-3.
Duke on the late night tip at Cal, 10:30 p.m. opening kick tomorrow for Duke at Cal. That old storied ACC rivalry of Duke football at the Cal Bears. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what's actually? Sometimes I get the reputation or the stigma as the person that is like, you love the transfer portal, because I defend it, right? I think players should be able to contribute or participate in the earnings that are off of their effort. I don't love everything about the transfer portal. There are certain things I absolutely hate about the transfer portal. I just don't know how you justify getting rid of it. One of the things I hate about the transfer portal is a sentiment that I saw about Duke football. So, Nate Shepard, running back. He's playing well as of late, right? He's getting the ball a bunch. He's running well. He's showing a little bit of sizzle. I think that is an element that the Duke offense needed, right? Earlier in their season, it was kind of like this, explosive, efficient passing game paired with a unknown running game. And Nate Shepard, along with Anderson Castle, don't want to, diminish anybody else, has kind of opened up the running game a bit. And I think that's, like, my entire life. Watching a college football team that needed a running game have a running back emerge, it's just glorious, right? It's just fans are elated. It's, look at this. And by the way, he's an underclassman. This is great. He's going to be around forever. I already saw a couple Duke fans on social media going, okay, should we start passing the hat for Nate Shepard? Okay, should we start fundraising so we can keep Nate Shepard? Okay, like how long until Nate Shepard's asking for more money? And I don't know if Nate is or not. I don't know Nate Shepard personally, but I do know that is how you have to think as a college football program. Right? Lane Kiffin had it after their who did they just they beat LSU with the Weeks brothers on the defense. In the post-game press conference, somebody asked Lane Kiffin about one of their players. He's like, oh, man, he's a good player. Oh, wait. I'm not supposed to say that anymore. He's not that good. Because if I say he's good, then everybody's going to come get him out of the portal. Like, he literally made that statement. And I hope Duke enjoys their offense this year is basically what I'm getting at. Right? When they're against Cal, if Nate Shepard runs for a 60-yard touchdown, I hope there's at least till the end of the game, you're just like, heck yeah, we got a running game to pair with that passing game before you start going like, all right, can we talk to auto dealerships about NIL to get so Nate can stick around for next year? Just try your best to enjoy it. And Cal is an interesting team. I actually think their quarterback could easily be one of the higher paid quarterbacks at another school if he wants to next year. But, it's way more fun to talk about good players leaving teams that you don't care about than teams that you cover. So Jaron Chiave Sagopolotele, go cash in. Get your Miami money. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Handoff now to Smothers as he squirts through the line off to the races 40. Hollywood Smothers pulls away 30. Inside the 20, he's gone. Hollywood 49 yards.
State is hosting Campbell tomorrow. State football hosting the Campbell Camels. We've talked at length about, I think they want the running game to get going for State. I think Hollywood Smothers should have a big day. I think the offensive line should be using it as a opportunity to exert their will. Yesterday, we talked about this game there's really no trophy in this game. There's no real prize in this game for State. If you beat Campbell by $1 billion, great, you beat an FCS team, right? They whatever, went to overtime against Bryant, I think. Like it's you're not gonna get many kudos for winning this game by a bunch. No disrespect to Campbell. If you lose or get close, I do want to address that for a second. There might not be much to gain. There is a lot of panic if this game doesn't go exactly how fans think it should. If at the end of the first quarter it's 10-7, it almost doesn't matter what happens in the second half. There is going to be conversations that will not be fun for those involved in the NC State football program. Right? If it's at halftime 21-14 in either direction, I would stay off social media if I were a family member of any of the coaches. So there are stakes in this game, even if there's not much reward. Right? You win by a bunch, you do everything right, you play a perfect game. Awesome. Do it against Notre Dame, which is their next opponent. If there's any hesitation or signs of worry, they'll be multiplied by everything that's happened in the last 2 games. So it is not truly just like this game doesn't matter. It's this game matters in a big way unless you take care of business, in which case it matters almost not at all. And that's not a super fun way to play a game. I'll put it that way. To just have all the pressure and none of the enjoyment. But I guess that's what you deal with, right? That is the cost that comes with losing a brutal one last week to Virginia Tech. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Shotgun snap. Dalton looking, throws right side. Touchdown, Mitchell Evans. The rookie from Notre Dame hauls in his first NFL touchdown.
We're talking UNC Clemson here.
I played the wrong one. That's on me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's
That's
a Friday. Well, let's be real. There aren't a ton of highlights to play from never mind. From either team. UNC hosting Clemson. It is, we talked with Amber Wilson earlier today, and you'll hear that conversation again to start Overdrive right about 6 o'clock. Amber Wilson, she hosts the ESPN College Football Campus Tour, which is going to be in Chapel Hill from 10 to noon tomorrow, leading up to kickoff. She hosts Amber and Ian, ESPN Radio. Many of you know Amber Wilson. But because she's in town, we were talking to her about this game, and it's kind of still interesting that, she said this is part of the reason why they hired Bill Belichick. It's not just for the defensive mind and the scheme, and it's not just for the on-field coaching. UNC also hired Bill Belichick so games like this happen. Right? They also hired Bill Belichick so the ESPN College Football Campus Tour would come to their game. UNC thus far, okay? There's always room to change, but I'm going to be honest with you for a second. The Tar Heels thus far have not been a good team, okay? They haven't won the games that were against kind of their peers, and they haven't won their games against the lower division and group of 5 opponents by enough. They haven't been a good team, yet there's still a big game feel to their game against Clemson, right? If Clemson was having the season they are, which is not good for Clemson, and they were playing at Wake, this isn't a big game. If they were playing at Virginia, Pitt, there's not, it's not a big game. But when you put Dabo and Bill Belichick on the same field, it's a big game. So it almost builds in extra opportunities for you to turn your season. Okay? The wins that turn your season, like we just talked about it with State. Beating Campbell is not going to, you're not going to look back on your season and go, our season was going bad until we beat that FCS team. That changed everything, right? UNC is going to have a lot of those moments where it's like, you remember when we were on national television and everybody was watching and we woke up? That was a huge moment for us. They can do that against Clemson. It makes every game a bigger opportunity, even if it's you haven't earned it almost, right? They haven't earned the right for this to be a big game. They haven't won enough. Neither team has won enough for this to be a big game. But their coaches are such big celebrities that it is. And the expectations were so high that it is. So because of that, Ludacris is going to perform. And Amber and Jonathan Zaslow are there for the college campus tour. And all of these other things that are big deals are going to happen. And if you win, it's going to feel big. So figure it out and you might have something. We talked about it earlier. WRAL, Brian Murphy and Pat Welter are reporting that they have sources that have confirmed to them that Max Johnson will be starting at quarterback for UNC. At least from what I was able to get during the couple commercial breaks, we don't know if that's because Gio Lopez is hurt and can't play, or if because the coaches have made a change to Max Johnson as the starting quarterback. But either way, got your backup quarterback rolling into a game against Clemson. If your offense looks significantly better, if you get the win, or if you make it competitive going into the fourth, this might be one of those games that the Bill Belichick era at UNC looks back on and says, that was when we started putting it together. Now, whether you earned that opportunity or not, take advantage of it, right? It's like the, it's happening in Hollywood, right? The Nepo baby stuff. Where it's like, I don't care if you earned your first opportunities, right? If your parents are so famous that you got in a movie, I'm not, like, why would I expect you to turn down opportunities? But what I will say is, acknowledge that everybody doesn't get those opportunities and work hard as heck to take advantage of them and do your absolute best, right? Because you're getting something that you should be appreciative for. UNC, your coach, it's kind of little Nepo babies, right? Like, you didn't earn the right for this game to be on national television. You didn't earn the right for this game to have all of this pomp and circumstance. It's just because your coach is that guy with the Super Bowls, and he coached Brady, and he does the stuff. I don't care if you earned it or not, but I will say this. Do absolutely everything you can to take advantage of that opportunity. Whether you earned it or not, that's what you owe the opportunity. Yeah. Did I just compare, like, Jordan Shipp and Thaddeus Dixon to, I don't know, like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's kids? Maybe. I don't know. But I think it made sense there. Hopefully you kept up with that one. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one! Johnson, caught, touchdown, North Carolina, Kobe Paytor.
See that? We ran the old flippy-doo, the old reverse-a-roo. We're talking Panthers Dolphins here.
Got to keep people guessing.
Got to keep them on their toes on a Friday. Speaking of keeping you on your toes, I'll be walking around at Carolina Ale House in Cary on Sunday for a little Panthers watch party. We'll be hanging out. I'll be hanging out. I'll be giving out gift cards, giving out merch, giving out swag, talking with you, hanging out with you. If you want to be a part of the event, a little watch party, go out, get some food, get some drinks. Carolina Ale House in Cary for the Panthers Dolphins game, which is what we're talking about here. Panthers Dolphins. There's a few things going into this game. There's a few things. First of all, I think a lot of this is looking into the mirror. I think a lot of this game is looking into the mirror. And what I mean by that is undersized, not physically elite, quarterback from Alabama who is underperforming based on expectations with, as their rosters stand right now, I would say one super dependable wide receiver, Tedero McMillan, Jalen Waddle, a couple weirdly interesting pieces, right? We're talking Darren Waller, Xavier Legette, some injuries that have really hurt their team, and a 1-3 record that has your coach and your quarterback on the hot seat. They're like, especially looking offense to offense, coach to coach, there's a lot of similarities between these two teams and where they are right now. How they got there is different, right? Mike McDaniel rode the wave of being like everybody's favorite coach, and now he's down to the hot seat. Dave Canales has just kind of arrived where he is without doing the whole roller coaster thing. But because of everything I just said, I think this one's winnable for the Panthers. I think it's as winnable as any game on their schedule remains. I think you're catching a team on a short week, down on their luck a bit, scrambling. But at the same time, the Panthers aren't good enough that any game is also not the potential for catastrophe, right? If Devon Achane hits two big ones early, this game could get as ugly as anything. That offense, the way I'll describe Tua Tagovailoa is actually, again, very similar to Bryce. If things get going well, he can ride that wave to a very impressive day. And his ceiling is actually significantly higher than Bryce's from what we've seen. If they hit a couple big plays early, if him and Jalen Waddle get on the same page, if Malik Washington hits a couple of those end arounds and it works, they can do some things. So, like, as much as I sit here and say, like, this is a winnable game for the Panthers, as much as I sit here and say, like, Miami's kind of vulnerable, the opposite is also true. If you told me, if we come in tomorrow or on Monday and we're talking about a 38-10 loss, my jaw won't be on the floor. I will not be like, I could not see that coming. Miami's offense is more talented than New England's, top to bottom. I think Drake May brings a certain different beast, but you look at number one wide receiver for number one wide receiver and on down the list, like, Miami's can take advantage of it just as much as anybody else's, which is why I think some of the injuries on the defensive front may be bummers for Carolina, because I think they need to get Tua off his spot early and get him rattled a little bit, and everything changes. I'll put it this way: I want to throw an if-then statement out there. If the rookies combined for at least one sack, I think the Panthers can win that game. I think you need the rookies on the field.
Yeah.
And actually I'll go at least a sack and a half. Because I also think, what'd you say? Your microphone's not on. I see you talking.
Yeah, you're right. The microphone is off. Things are a little busted over here. Sack and a half. I mean, you're anticipating that this Panthers defense will double its sack total in the season in one game?
Here's why.
Okay.
I think Tua's a little rattled. Two, I'm anticipating the way they solved the Shaw Smith-Wade absence is by more Lathan Ransom on the field. And if Lathan Ransom is in the slot, if he's having to guard the slot, do you know what that screams to me if I'm Evero, the defensive coordinator? He is 10 steps further and can come with that blitz. And Lathan Ransom is a faster, more aggressive, physical beast than is normally in that position. So I'm rotating safeties over the top. I'm freeing him up, and I'm bringing him on 3 or 4 blitzes, and I think he could get home on one of them. So if I'm just saying the rookies, obviously I'd like it to be Princely Umanmielen, Nick Scorton, right? Some of the guys that are more traditional pass rushers. But don't – this should have been a bold prediction. I'll throw Lathan Ransom, bold prediction, gets a sack. Because Shaw Smith-Wade is out, which means that kind of nickel corner is available. I don't think they want to go too crazy with throwing Thornton out there for a ton of snaps. But if you keep the 2 safeties that you've had and you put Lathan Ransom out there and kind of have him playing some kind of safety corner hybrid as that nickel, that he's in prime blitz area. And Tua Tagovailoa is somebody you want to blitz, you want to get rattled.
I don't know if I trust Evero to be that smart.
There is
that guy's pretty locked into his scheme.
Everybody go. Is Evero on Twitter? Take this segment and send it to Evero. Everybody right now. No, I'm kidding. Don't spam him. Although it would be funny. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I get it, guys. I'll blitz him on Twitter. Be hilarious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need some numbers game contestants. I'm talking to all of our numbers game fans, but a little extra attention on the golf fans that are also numbers game fans, because the prize, tickets to the SAS Championship. They were talking Champions Tour Golf, celebrating 25 years of the SAS Championship, October 10th through 12th at the Prestonwood Country Club. Kick off the weekend with Food Truck Friday and their big fireworks show. Then watch the event, which includes 7 Hall of Famers, 13 major champions, and 10 Ryder Cup legends, all teeing it up in the field in Cary. Kids get in free. Tickets start at just $30. Grab yours now at saschampionship.com. That's SASchampionship.com. And all week, which today is actually your last chance, you can listen to the numbers game, play the numbers game, and if you win, you not only get tickets, you get tickets that include the Mellow Mushroom Chill Club with open bar and catering. I don't know if everybody's like, I've had a few opportunities through some people I know to be at some golf tournaments where you're in like side the clubs with the catering and everything. It's a different. You feel like royalty. You're at the golf. You're watching the golf. You're eating the food. It's a whole different beast. If you want the tickets, you got to win the numbers game. The number to call, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants, so call in now, 919-860-5326 for the numbers game. Coming up next.
Get ready. Carolina Hurricanes hockey is back.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, you'll get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
Verdeen wide open. Rebound. And what a save by Anderson.
Let's go, Canes!
Now Hall all alone. In on Thompson. Hall scores!
The Canes regular season begins October 9th on your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey. 99.9 The Fan.
Your home shelters your dreams and protects your memories. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand this deeply. It's why we've dedicated ourselves to caring for homes like yours. As part of the Baker Roofing family, we bring a century of expertise to every project, from roofing and siding to windows and decks. We don't just upgrade homes, we help protect the life you've built within them. Because your home is where our heart is. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and start your home's next chapter.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra. Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, for $3, you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The 25th Anniversary SAS Championship tees off October 10th through 12th at the Prestonwood Country Club. See golf's greatest, Ernie Els, Bernard Longer, Colin Montgomery, and more battle it out right here in the Triangle. This year's celebration is bigger than ever with fireworks after Food Truck Friday and exciting action from the legends all weekend long. Don't miss golf, food, family fun, and 25 years of memories. Get tickets today at saschampionship.com. Proceeds benefit the YMCA of the Triangle.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today, Chase and Clayton, Evan and Fuquay. They'll be battling it out with numbers, jersey number trivia to win some tickets to the SAS Championship, Champions Tour Golf in Cary, Prestonwood Country Club. And these tickets, they include the Mellow Mushroom Chill Club, which means open bar, catering, all the good stuff. Chase and Clayton, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, we're going to ask you a question, then ask the same question to Evan and Fuquay. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. And this is actually, it's kind of a stacked weekend, so there's a lot of options. It is a Friday, so the question is, what are you looking forward to most about this upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
So since I'm a Cowboys fan, I am just looking forward to not a tie this weekend.
Not a tie. I don't know if you can guarantee that if we're being real.
That's true.
So goodness, I hope not. Dennis, any follow-up questions?
None.
All right. Evan and Fuquay is up next. Evan, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Same question to you. What are you looking forward to most about this upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure that your answer is sports related.
It's not that too stacked of a college football weekend, but I'm trying to see if Vanderbilt or Alabama is for real this year. Because last year, I don't know if it was a fluke or not, so I'm kind of interested to see how it turns out this year.
All right, Vandy versus Bama. Dennis, any follow-ups?
You lost the moment you said Cowboys fan, so we're going to go with Evan and Fuquay on this one.
All right, that's fine. That tracks. That is funny. Vandy versus Alabama could have been anything there. Could have been just absolutely anything. That's fine.
Just about. Just about.
So Evan and Fuquay gets to go first. Chase and Clayton, don't worry. You will have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a second. Evan, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, they are NFL players that were born in Oregon, NFL players that were at one point or another Geno Smith's teammate, NBA players where they were all born in mid-September, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with the Geno Smith NFL one.
All right. All players, NFL players that were at one point or another teammates with Geno Smith. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks.
14.
Correct. Max Crosby, Las Vegas Raiders.
98.
Correct. Tyrell Williams, San Diego Chargers.
27.
Incorrect. Shane Vereen, New York Giants.
16.
Incorrect. Tyrell Williams, San Diego Chargers.
Pass.
Sheldon Richardson, New York Jets.
23.
Incorrect. Shane Vereen, New York Giants.
24.
Incorrect. Tyrell Williams, San Diego Chargers.
24.
Incorrect. Sheldon Richardson, New York Jets.
32.
Incorrect. Shane Vereen. You know, the pass I thought you were going to get because randomly for Shane Vereen you said 16. Then I went to Tyrell Williams and you passed. Williams was number 16.
Are these offensive players? I really have not. I didn't recognize them.
Oh, don't disrespect Shane Vereen like that. He was a pass-catching running back. Tyrell Williams, a deep threat wide receiver. Sheldon Richardson was big old defensive lineman. He got in some trouble, I believe, away from the field. But DK Metcalf, you got. Max Crosby, you got. Williams was 16, Vereen 34, Richardson 91. But 2 is the number to beat. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to Chase and Clayton. Chase, are you there?
Yes.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players born in Oregon, NBA players that were all born in mid-September, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
The NFL players in Oregon.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 3 for the victory. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. In that case, your time will start when you hear the horn. Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers.
10.
Correct. Kendrick Bourne, San Francisco 49ers.
34.
Incorrect. Ndamukong Suh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
90.
Incorrect. Kendrick Bourne, San Francisco 49ers.
84.
Correct. Derek Anderson, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Luke Musgrave, Green Bay Packers.
85.
Incorrect. Ndamukong Suh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
99.
Incorrect. Derek Anderson, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
You can't.
85.
Incorrect. Luke Musgrave, Green Bay Packers.
86.
You were getting closer with Musgrave. This is going to be a brutal beat for you. That is a tie, and unfortunately, tie goes to whoever goes first. So this is not even like an exaggeration. You literally did not get the tickets because you said you're a Cowboys fan, and Dennis didn't like that. That's a bad beat. That's a bad beat right there.
Hey, you know, it was a tie for the show, so it's par for the course for them.
That is true. That is hilarious. You said all you were looking for this week is not a tie, and then you lost on a tie. You can't write it. You can't write it.
Can't write it. That's right.
Appreciate it. Hopefully you had some fun.
Oh, yeah, always.
By the way, for those of you playing at home, Ndamukong Suh, 93 with the Bucks. Derek Anderson, number 3 with the Panthers. And Musgrave, 88 with the Packers. That's what we were looking for. And Evan and Fuquay, we're looking for you because you're the winner. You get some SAS Championship tickets. Congrats.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your tickets. That is objectively hilarious. That his whole thing was, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I just don't want a tie. And then because he's a Cowboys fan, he goes second, which ends up being the tiebreaker that loses him on a tie.
Imagine that.
That is like somewhere like there's some I always blame the football gods when like the ball bounces a funny way and it goes against your team, like a double doink or something like that. Somewhere the numbers game gods are just chuckling because you tempted them with a tie, you lose by the tie. That is brutal. Especially because that is they're always always great prizes and they truly are. But just me being, a bit of a golf fan, that is a really good prize. The SAS Championship brings in some stars. Vijay Singh, Bernard Longer, they've had some past champions that are really impressive. And they bring in like the Reed said, 13 major champions, 7 Hall of Famers, 10 Ryder Cup legends, all in the field for the SAS Championship in Cary. So would have been cool to win. If you didn't win the tickets and you still want to go, kids get in free. Tickets start at just $30, so grab yours now at saschampionship.com. That's saschampionship.com. Check it out. Other bits of news. This news broke earlier today. Want to make sure everybody's updated on it. UNC, according to some WRAL reporting, Pat Welter, Brian Murphy, their sources. Max Johnson will be starting at quarterback for the Carolina Tar Heels when they take on Clemson tomorrow at noon. So that's happening. Earlier today for Carolina Panther fans, we learned that Chuba Hubbard not playing, which means it'll likely be some heavy Rico Dowdle work in the backfield. Shaw Smith-Wade not playing. Few others still up in the air, but the Panthers in their game against Miami on Sunday will be dealing with some absences due to injury. And I think that's it for the breaking news that I need to update people on. Max Johnson, couple injuries for the Panthers.
Sounds right.
Lamar Jackson's not playing. I don't know, set your fantasy lineups accordingly.
Jaden Daniels looks like he's actually going to start on Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah, I saw he was full practice yesterday. Deebo Samuel was doing more today. He hadn't practiced this week. The NFL is tough to keep track of what everybody's doing.
There's a lot.
There is. Set an alarm for 15 minutes before the game start so you check to make sure you're not starting somebody who's inactive on your fantasy roster. A lot of people, Dennis, your guy got everybody caught.
Who?
Jaylen Warren.
Yeah.
Being a late scratch in a Europe game that started at 9 o'clock in the morning East Coast time, which means 6 o'clock in the morning West Coast time. There were a whole bunch of people that had him in their starting lineup, woke up in California, game's half over, and he didn't even play. Just set the alarm. That's my bit of fantasy advice. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got to round out the week the right way. We're going to make some picks coming up.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
At Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford, we've got 3 great brands under one roof and deals that will get you in the driver's seat today. We've got the perfect new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for you. Family owned for over 70 years, we treat you like one of our own with friendly service, honest deals, and a commitment that keeps our customers coming back. plus state-of-the-art service and collision centers to keep you rolling. Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC. Visit us in Sanford or at wilkinsoncars.com. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for just about 2 months now, and I'm proud to say that I've lost nearly 40 pounds. And it's something that I can sit there and say, and I look in the mirror, that I put the work in to do it. And I know a lot of people want to put the work in, but they don't know how. They don't know where to go. And this is what Raleigh Weight Loss Center gives you. They give you a plan. They tell you, if you follow this, you can see results. It's that simple. Stay dedicated, stay disciplined, and you can see results. And I have been able to do that through the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's direct, it's straightforward, it's easy to follow, and I've lost nearly 13% of my body weight as a result. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Ask any questions, determine if it's the right fit for you. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
In today's world, financial wellness is more important than ever. I'm Amanda Mangum from Aspire Money Management, here to help you achieve peace of mind with your finances. Whether it's managing expenses, planning for unforeseen events, or investing wisely, we're dedicated to empowering you with knowledge and support. Take control of your financial health now. Visit AspireMoneyManagement.net to schedule your free consultation. That's AspireMoneyManagement.net. Together, we can help you pave the way to a more successful future.
Lenovo is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle. While a lot has changed, our passion for people and technology hasn't. We're excited for what the next 20 years will bring as we continue to deliver cutting-edge solutions that drive progress, power, and smarter technology for all.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I have failed to say this today. It's because Fridays, they're too fun and I'm doing too much other stuff. Please download our app, 99.9 The Fan. There's a ton of play-by-play coming up this weekend. There's obviously, if you want to get ready for any of the games this weekend, there's a ton of content that our station has worked very hard to put together when it comes to Panthers, when it comes to any of the college teams, when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes season starting off. Matter of fact, if you are a Carolina Hurricanes fan, there's the preseason game tomorrow, which you can hear on the 99.9 The Fan app. But also, once the regular season comes around, it's so simple. No matter where you are, if you have the app on your phone, you can hear Mike, you can hear Trip, you can get the whole broadcast, Adam. Like, it can all be right there in your pocket. So I encourage you all to go check it out. I encourage you all to download the app, give us the 5-star rating, give us the positive review. That's just a favor for us. But also, if you believe it, do that as well, which I think you will because the app is awesome. And then check out all the content. Poke around, register, use your name, your birthday, and an email address that you actually check, because we're giving stuff away to people that are registered on our app all the time. I believe this week, and I don't think we've picked the winner yet, so there's still time. I believe this week we have State Georgia Tech tickets.
That's right, November 1st.
So register right now. Download the app, register. You'll be in the running.
So, yeah, a lot of play-by-play. Like you said, Canes tomorrow. It's a 3:30 Storm watch with Adam Gold. Later on Saturday night, we have Miami versus Florida State, a big ACC game. Also, I think tonight as well, actually late tonight, we have West Virginia at BYU. That's a 10 o'clock pregame, 10:30 kick.
Check it out. I mean, it's all. I mean, and then on top of that, so it's got the live stuff, it's got the podcasts, the clips from this show, the archives. It's a really good app. I don't know how many different ways I can say it.
Even on Buzz Sports Radio, we have Duke basketball countdown to craziness tonight.
I saw they divided up the teams.
Yeah.
This is just side note things that I'm observing. The Boozer twins are on the same team,
which makes sense.
Except I like if you're going to do an intra-squad scrim. I'll try that again.
You got it.
Intra-squad scrimmage.
There it is.
I want the sibling rivalry. Okay. I want them on different teams and making them. But anyway, but they're going to end with Elam ending. So there will be a game-winning shot. Elam ending is a style where, when the clock hits 0, I think it's then you play to 12 points in front of whatever the leading team is.
Yeah, you can kind of designate that point total.
Yeah.
It's what you see in the NBA with the All-Star game.
Yeah,
that type
or
of deal.
some of the big three stuff. Like there's so anyway, like there's gonna be a game-winning shot at the event, which is fun, right? Because then everybody gets to go nuts. It's not just one team's up 3 scores and they're dribbling out the clock trying to waste time. It basically guarantees like a really cool ending. So that's all happening. I mean, it's all on 99.9 The Fan app. Just go. We could tell you about it, or you could experience it for yourself. 99.9 The Fan, Google Play Store, Apple Store, depending on what kind of phone you have. Have fun. Now let's make some picks.
Let's start a little college football here.
Let's do it.
Let's actually go ahead and go to a pretty fun matchup in the SEC. Texas at Florida. Florida 1-3 on the season. Texas on the road, just a 5.5-point favorite, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about games that at the beginning of the year were supposed to be just absolute heaters.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Turns out, maybe not as much. Here's the way I'm looking at it. Texas is obviously being underwhelmed with Arch Manning and the way he's played, and I'm not saying that to be mean to Arch. I'm just calling a spade. They're still so talented around him. Their team is really that kind of deal. So I think I'm going to be on Texas' side of this.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the spread is. What's the spread?
It's 5.5 in favor of Texas.
I think they win by at least a touchdown. Give me Texas.
Okay. Another fun one in the SEC this weekend. We have Alabama taking on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt 16th in the country on the road in Tuscaloosa, taking on number 10 Alabama. Bama 11.5-point favorites in this one.
I like Bama to win. I don't know if I like them to win by 12.
Yeah. I don't know. They got revenge from last year on their minds.
I think they'll try. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
Vanderbilt's, they're not, I mean, they're ranked. They're not a bad opponent. The quarterback from my high school in Maryland is a tight end for Vanderbilt. So I vaguely check box scores of Vanderbilt. That's about all I know about him. But I'm looking for Bryson is his name. Bryson Coleman. But other than that, I think Alabama gets the win. Vandy pulled off a pretty special win last year at Bama. And sort like, history says, I know this isn't Saban's Bama, but history says it doesn't happen, multiple times that often. Johnny Manziel is going to be there on the sideline supporting Diego Pavia because I guess like every brash quarterback that beats Alabama just becomes like best friends. I still think Alabama gets a win, but I don't think they win by 12.
All right, sneaky, actually not really sneaky, but it is kind of a low-key, big-time game in the ACC this weekend. You have 4-1, number 24 ranked Virginia, fresh off an upset over Florida State. They're 2-0 in the ACC. On the road at Louisville, undefeated at 4-0, 1-0 in the ACC. Louisville at home, 6.5-point favorites against the Wahoos.
Louisville unranked.
Yeah, Louisville unranked.
Virginia ranked, despite the fact that Louisville's undefeated. Virginia has the one loss, which, by the way, was to State.
That's true.
That's not looking fantastic. I'm surprised by the lack of touchdown passes for Miller Moss, and maybe just as surprised that Chandler Morris is kind of up there near the top of the country there. Is Isaac Brown's healthy, right? I'm not missing anything there.
I'm not entirely sure.
If Isaac Brown's healthy, give me Louisville. The dude is fast, and I think that is something that could give Virginia a little bit of trouble. If he's banged up, because I don't even, maybe I dreamt it. I'm vaguely remembering something about him being banged up. If that's not the case, then give me Virginia to win by 1.
I mean, both those teams will probably be scoring in the 30s this weekend, for being honest. All right, let's go to actually a nightcap that we have here on Saturday night right here on 99.9 The Fan. Number 3, Miami, undefeated 4-0. They have their conference opener on the road at number 18, Florida State, 3-1. But Florida State, as we just talked about, 0-1 in the ACC after that loss to Virginia. Miami on the road, 4.5-point favorites.
Florida State is really trading off of that win against Alabama. Part of this is I think it needs to be good for the ACC. Part of this is I actually believe it. I think Miami wins, and I think it might be kind of aggressive. Reuben Bain Jr. This is not a exaggeration. I saw multiple Heisman Trophy voters saying right now their vote for Heisman would be for a defensive end from Miami, Ruben Bain Jr. Tommy Castellanos is mobile, but he's high risk, high reward. If they can get him down in the backfield a few times, I think that game could be, 4.5 might seem low there. I know a lot of the sharp money, as they say, has been on Florida State, but I think Miami wins 10+.
Yeah, give me the Hurricanes in this one. All right, let's go to some Sunday games here in the NFL before we get into the local ones here real quick. Actually, again, we have 1 o'clock kickoff right here on 99.9 The Fan on Sunday. Houston at Baltimore. Both these teams surprisingly 1-3. Houston 1.5-point favorites on the road in Baltimore.
Lamar not playing.
Yeah.
Which means Cooper Rush.
There you go.
Do you know what this screams? This screams ugly, gross.
This screams Derrick Henry 32
Baltimore
carries.
Ravens win. Yeah. It screams like the only passes completed are like 2 touchdowns from Cooper Rush to Mark Andrews on play action from the 1-yard line. Like it's by the way, I actually think one of the underrated parts of John Harbaugh as a coach are these kind of games. Where it's like it feels like he loses more than he should when he has like the high-flyingest offense in the world. And then you take away the high-flyingest offense in the world, and he'll win. No disrespect to Houston. I think Woody Marks has a really, really big game. Predicted that earlier. But I think Baltimore wins something like 24-21 of just gross football.
All right, let's actually go to the late Sunday afternoon game, the 4:25 kickoff. Also here on The Fan, Commanders at Chargers. Commanders on the road, 3.5-point dogs against the Chargers. So Chargers at home, 3.5-point favorites against Washington.
See, the Chargers lost to the Giants last week.
They did.
And prior to seeing that, like seeing Scatabo and Jackson Dart in their post-game presser with Scatabo going, "What up? It's 4-4-6 in the trap." I was all in on the Chargers. And then I'm like, you can't let that run all over. You can't let whatever. I mean, Jackson Dart ran all over them. A couple of rookies, just not great for the Chargers defense. And guess what else happened in that game?
What's that?
Joe Alt went down.
Yeah, it's true.
The Chargers started with the best tackles in the sport. Both of them are gone. It's week 5, whatever it is. I still think the Chargers win, but I'm way less confident in them than I was even a week ago. Omari and Hampton, big game. Chargers win.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass over State Campbell.
State wins.
Yeah. Let's go to Clemson, North Carolina. Clemson 14.5-point favorites at Keenan.
I feel bad saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clemson wins and covers.
I don't think you're wrong.
It's. I think from where Clemson's expectations were and where UNC's expectations were, they've underperformed similarly, but it's all relative to their expectations. You know what I mean? I think Clemson was pretty high. So give me Clemson to win by 17-24 or something like that.
All right.
Not the final score 17-24, the margin 17-24.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a 31-10 type game. All right, let's go to Duke at Cal. Duke on the road in Berkeley. 2.5-point favorites in this one.
Yeah, I think Duke wins. I think their offense is dependable enough. I think their defense is figuring it out. I think it's a big game from Mensah, but I predict that every week because I think he's pretty reliable. I think they win. I think they cover.
All right, final NFL game here of the weekend. Let's go down to Charlotte. The Carolina Panthers 1-3 at home, taking on the 1-3 Miami Dolphins. You can listen to that game over on Mix 101.5, our sister station. Miami, the Dolphins, 1.5-point favorites on the road at Bank of America.
I really want to pick the Panthers. I've talked myself into it. I have. I know I'm going to regret it, but I want to put my foot down. Panthers win.
Okay.
28-21.
You think they score 28 points?
Yes, at least one defensive score. Both teams miss field goals.
All right.
Just because you got to add some chaos. It's a Panther game. You got to add a little ridiculousness. 10 seconds or less. What do you got?
I will take the Miami Dolphins in this one, 27-13.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. We're starting off Overdrive talking about one of the stories of that Panther game. Chuba Hubbard not playing. How do the Panthers always get themselves in this situation? That's going to lead off Overdrive. You'll hear from Amber Wilson. You'll hear from us at 3 o'clock on Monday to recap the weekend. Until then, see ya.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan.
From the 25, Aller loading up, throwing down the right sideline. Intercepted! It's over! Dylan Thieneman with the INT, and the Oregon bench swarms onto the field. The Ducks have won in double overtime.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Hey everybody, Paul Lyhander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Are you ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you won't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys. It gives everyone, you, me, everyone, a college football profit boost every single week. And here's how it works. Each week, you'll get a profit boost to use on college football. No opt-in gymnastics.